Ah, welcome. Welcome to Drakenmemoria. For those of you wondering what this is, well, it's Dungeons and Dragons, or more specifically, a group of people playing Dungeons and Dragons. So if this isn't something you want to watch tonight, well, just look to the right or the left, there are suggestions, depending on where you're watching this from. But if you actually want to be there because you had fun in the previous session, because you've been told by someone that this is fun and you can watch, just because you like losing some time making fun of a group of people playing Dungeons and Dragons, as long as you remain cordial in your making fun of us, it's all good. We're very glad that you're here. It's a pleasure to have you with us, and we hope you're going to have a pleasant evening also. So, I think that's about it. I'd like to have more, sponsors out there who might have something relating to Dungeons and Dragons, and I'd love to tell the small viewership that we have that your product are very good. And as you can see, there's time in the beginning to do so. So it's out there if you're interested. But that's about everything I have to say for the beginning of the evening. Remember, if you're not following, follow us. I know I always say it at the end, but why not do it differently this week? Let's say it at the beginning. Follow us. I know there are some anonymous viewers out there, because the stats say so. We sometimes have more viewers than we have followers, so that means there's more of you out there not following us. So follow us!
Yes, follow. We cannot promise anything, but you're... Never mind, I won't say that.
If you don't follow, we'll send Remy after you.
Yeah, we'll send Remy.
Well, although I'm not.
To be clear, Remy, the PC, not the player. The player
Yeah.
might have difficulty finding you, but
for the next few weeks, yeah. Although, if you want to make sure that you follow us, maybe it's audience that we should send. He
Not like
has
a -5.
I think audience has earned more of a following than our channel, so it's... Maybe we should send him. So...
Let me roll a persuasion roll for that real quick.
Alright, so... Are we gonna get more viewers? Roll for persuasion.
We shall see.
You've muted yourself.
Who, me?
I said I'll tell you in a second. I am still opening D&D Beyond. Get my characters up.
He's supposed to get his character out.
Yeah. Audience, alright, audience is here. Let's see. Alright, persuasion roll. We will get 19.
19!
Let's go.
That should be good enough to have at least, I'd say, 2d4 new followers this session.
2d4.
I'm pretty persuasive.
Yeah, tonight it's good.
especially after he puts on that Speedo, it's just begging for you to put your follow into it.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll put on the
audience
main
is
dress
always-
right now. Give me 1 second.
Audience is always shirtless, so I think we're gonna get more female viewers than male. I don't have, I don't mind. I don't have a girlfriend, so it's always fun to have a group of people to choose from. All right, so.
I mean, look, even the guy, even guys, it's like, game recognized game.
Yeah. All right, so let's get started. What happened during the last episode? Well, during the last episode, essentially the group reformed bonds with one another, especially Tobiyashi, who'd been gone for a while, and there was a small debriefing where Tobiyashi shared a few informations that he managed to gather while he was away, captured, tortured, and then chosen to be sacrificed.
Actually did something useful for once. Can't hit my shots, but I could give information.
Yeah, you can take a beating and give information.
Yeah.
That's always good. We always need one. And after that, well, they decided to resummon Orounak. And this is where they got a surprise. Because Orounak didn't come to the phone. It was Tourne who actually decided to manifest itself. A large, 15 feet high elemental being that came in the shape of a large living tree. To the surprise of Remy, who had never seen Tourne before, that was intriguing. It left him speechless for a while. But audience who had seen Tourne, and Tobiyashi also who had seen Tourne, for them it was a welcome surprise. And although Tourne mostly gave Tobiyashi new nuts because he remembered that he enjoyed those last time, there was a longer discussion with audience, and preparation to defend the monastery were taken. As the night before, the monastery had been attacked, its defenses had been breached, and everyone inside had been injured in some way, or at least a large portion of the residents of the monastery right now. Most of them being the priests tending to the wards of the monastery. So, a plan was devised. Defense for the monastery was put in place, and as a bonus to the evening, they might even manage to get a prisoner from the enemy. A bit more information about where all of this is happening, as Tobiyashi revealed to the group that things were going to happen in only a few days, which was giving them a deadline even shorter than the one that they already believed they had, which was to hold out until reinforcement would arrive. But now it seems that reinforcement will arrive a few days late. So, no, sorry, this is not combat. It's supposed to just be crackling fire because I'm talking. And
Oh yeah, no. Didn't you know we all the players communicated earlier this week? We are all going to fight each other.
Yeah.
Using our real life stats.
Our real life stats. We calculated it out by deadlifting and doing squats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And since I have been practicing HEMA for nearly 20 years, I had a camera and I watched them all, what they were doing in combat, and decided what their level should be.
For Constitution, we figured out how many sicknesses we've had, stuff like that. Just calculated it all.
Oh, I just drank a ton of beer.
You see, that's why you don't have a good constitution. All right, and well, that's about everything that you have to know about what happened in the previous session, and apparently a bit of what happened between sessions. But that's it. Last episode, the episode ended as the sun started to set. The darkness was creeping everywhere. Audience received the message that Fisher had initiated an unstable emergency transport, so he would most likely not be here for a long while. So, as the night falls and you see the wolves gathering outside of the walls, these beads of light just watching you as you're preparing and anticipating what's going to happen. This is where we left off, and so this is where we pick up. It's just like an episode on TV, it picks up 5 seconds after the last episode. So, Jorg, audience, Remy, and Tobiyashi, you are in this monastery. Either looking outside at the incredible amount of wolves gathering, or inside, looking at Turon Hay, still fascinated by that. So, who's looking outside? Who's looking inside?
Okay. I'll look outside. Make
Yeah.
sure they're not coming. Can I be sitting on one of the walls just so I could get a better view?
Yeah, sure. It's the monastery isn't completed. The walls aren't made to defend against a siege. The main defense of the monastery are the magical wards on the walls. So there's not a place where you can hide on. Essentially, the roofs of the walkways around the I forgot how it's called. All right, it's gonna come back later on during the night. Hold on, I have a piece of paper. The cloisters. So,
Okay.
see, it's basically just the walkways that are on the side of the cloisters, and similar types of walkway around the courtyard and the garden at the back of the monastery. So it's you won't have anywhere to hide, but you'll have a better perspective.
Yeah, that's what I wanted.
Okay, well, in that case,
I already know it. They're gonna see me sooner or later, so.
In that case, yeah, sure, it's easy enough. I'd say just make an acrobatic. Don't roll a 1, otherwise you'll humiliate yourself before succeeding. But otherwise,
Yeah. Let's go. First roll of the night. Come on.
And it's
a 7.
well, like I said, you don't humiliate yourself. You probably take more time than you'd like to admit.
Yeah. Nobody was looking, so it's fine. I'm just
Yeah.
I'm ashamed. You know.
There's a
I'm ashamed.
priest that
Actually,
comes
no,
by.
hold on. While doing that acrobatics, please roll a stealth. Let's see how obvious it was.
Okay. I'll do that. 21.
It's decent.
I mean, hey, that beats Ramy's passive, so
Yes. Nobody noticed.
Your attention, Remy, your attention was drawn to Tobiyashi just because, it feels like he should have already been there, but you just weren't watching while he was doing it, so maybe he just started later than you thought. But you swear he started a minute ago.
I slept for a second.
Tobiyashi, you just have time to reach the top and then realize that Remy is looking around and just adopt a pause as if you would easily
I've been up
manage
there.
this. Just, ha!
Just crisscross applesauce like I've been up there already. Like I was just sitting there. Yeah.
All right.
Perception to see around, I guess?
Well, yeah, if you start looking around, definitely.
Yeah. I'll start looking around. No, I'll use performance because I want to do a dance. No. Perception.
You can. I don't know if it's going to affect anything, but you can.
First natural 20 of the night. 22.
All right. Well, in that case, you're pretty perceptive up there. And just to go with the atmosphere, we're going to say that there was a few fire lit in the middle of the large courtyard so that we can easily see everything happening. This is why we're hearing fire crackling in the background.
Yeah. Once we hear the crickets go off, that's when we know they're attacking.
Yeah. Or maybe the wolf howl. There's one wolf howl in the music.
like, shit, they cast Insect Plague.
Wait a minute.
It's all cricket.
Just all crickets.
All right. Well, don't worry. You're not in the same universe as one of my character. One of the rare character that I played as a player. He got to the point where he could make a wish. I was 17. So, so yeah, the wish sort of represents that. So, all right. So you go up. Do you want to be as stealthy as possible for them? I would allow you to remain stealthed with the roll that you made for Remy if you want.
Yeah. I'll try to be as stealthy as I can up there, but also looking around. So, yeah.
Okay. So you're on the roof, and one thing you notice immediately that's different. On previous nights, well, you were only there one night, but on the previous night, as soon as the darkness came and the shadows reached the side of the monastery, you remember hearing impacts of wolves throwing themselves on the wards in an effort to weaken them. You're not hearing anything. You're just seeing a mass of wolf outside. It just keeps growing and growing and growing. As the minutes go by, you sort of go, all right, I see 2 of them. There's 3 more. There's 5 more. There's 5 more here, 6 more here, 7 more here, and there's a point where they just keep moving about. It's hard to keep track, but you know that where you're looking, you're easily looking at over 50 of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just these eyes that you keep seeing move about.
Okay. I'm gonna slink back down the wall and run over to warn whoever's closest. I don't know who would be closest. What's everybody else doing?
That's what I was going to ask.
Audience has placed his mace down in the very center of like the courtyard inside the walls, and basically now is just sitting in like a cross-legged position with the light like showing him just waiting. Like, this is where I make my stand.
So basically you're sitting near the edge of the well, or on the well. It's been covered, so there's a stone slab above it. It's a perfect place to sit, and it's slightly elevated. So you are there with your mace beside you, cross-legged. And then you realize, oh, Fisher forgot to take back his lever. It's been here all day.
Yeah.
Audience will casually take the left.
You won't
Still
be
have
needing
no
it.
idea what it does, but you know.
This is like another thing. He'll toss it in his storage for now.
Do you put it down, or do you place it in a position on the wall?
Oh no! I
Ooh.
just put it down.
Okay.
I don't know how this lever works. I'm not messing with it. I don't
Just
know.
throws
Also
it in
don't.
there.
I also don't know what it means to like if I like left it like open like an interdimensional space. I don't know. I don't know what would happen there. Like,
So when you take it, the lever is in a position downward, like an off switch. So
Oh yeah. Was the well sealed when you
it
took
was
it?
it was sealing.
It was sealed.
But
Yeah.
the well is already been sealed.
yeah, they put a
Yeah.
large stone slab on top of it because they realize that because there's shadow at the bottom of this, in the first few days,
Oh.
the monastery got attacked with wolves coming out of the well, so they closed it, and unfortunately they can't use it. So this is why Remy's water was so welcome. They can't.
They can already breach. I mean, at this point, we probably could have opened the well because they've kind of breached the walls anyway. But
We gave him some water. And we
Oh,
could have
now
given some
we
water in the
shouldn't
daytime.
because we've resealed them pretty well.
yeah. Anyway, that's what audience is doing.
This monastery is not running out of water anytime soon.
No.
All right, so you take the lever. How do you remove it? Do you yank it out? Do you pull it up,
I guess
yank it out?
I would probably try and yank it out
Okay.
first.
You feel a little bit of resistance, but after maybe 30 seconds of trying it, it's, well, for you, Sam, I'd say it feels a bit like pulling on something that has Velcro on it. But for audience, it feels like a resistance, like it's been glued there, but after 30 seconds of trying it, you sort of feel it start to give way, and it removes itself.
Alright. I'll toss that in my thing and then go back to just sitting there waiting
Waiting for
the wolves to breach the wall.
All
Can you
right.
attach that on a person?
We have not tried that.
We should test it. We just need a.
Well, a
preferably
gnome
willing
asked Remy to
candidate.
try and put it on Fisher, but that wasn't tried while he was there, so. Okay, so Jorg, what are you doing while this is happening? You see audience heroically placing himself at the center of the largest courtyard on the well,
What did I say?
this slightly elevated platform with his mace glowing right beside him.
Jorg is probably gonna head over to a window and watch out.
All right. Well, in that case, if you are trying to look outside, roll for perception. If you want to not be seen while looking outside, roll for stealth. And
I will-
the last question is, are you looking at the same side that Tobiyashi is, or are you going on another wall?
Can I see where Tobiyashi? Do I know where Tobiyashi went?
Not with that stealth.
All right, then I'm going to just roll. I'd say there's a 25% chance. Okay, I do not. I rolled a 99. Under 25, I would have gone to the same
Okay.
like, direction.
In that case, we'll say that Tobiyashi went to the left wall. You decided to go to... No, you went to the right wall, and Jorg decided to go to the right wall. Oh, goodness, I keep...
Yeah.
Anyway,
I rolled a 12 perception, and hopefully my stealth is... Okay, and a 14 stealth.
All right, well, you're looking outside, and it's dark, so it's a bit hard to easily differentiate the shapes that are moving. But it only takes a few minutes before you completely lose count of the wolves that are outside, and all you're seeing are these pair of glowing eyes moving, and then another one, and then another one. You're convinced that there's at least 20 of them where you're watching, but it's really hard to really make out the numbers. With a perception like this in the middle of the night, your only point of reference are the glowing eyes of wolves during the night, and not the shape of them.
Yeah.
And at one point, you walk in front of a window and try again to count, and then you suddenly see one of them just stare at you for a moment.
Oh god. After that, he's gonna run toward and kind of, he's gonna not look scared, but hang out around the Toron Hay.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to go into Discord to see his name.
Okay. Hey, we've got people
why I have this
talking in the
stream up.
chat.
Ooh,
Let's go.
howdy! I should pull up chat.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yes,
We already have a full chat. Hello. Okay. Well, that's easy enough to do. Tourane is not hard to find, being the only 15-foot tree inside of the monastery. So you look around for maybe a moment or two, and then suddenly you see him. He is slowly making its way across the courtyard. Um, you do
Big
see
tree
him
savior.
walking in the courtyard and staring up as he's doing that.
I wanna look up.
Make a perception roll.
Come on. Ooh, 9.
Well, it's the night. You don't see the moon. So it's probably a cloudy night.
All right. I assume he's just hoping it rains for some extra nutrition.
Yeah. Is there
Not
something?
nutrition.
Is there something you want to say to Turane, or are you
Uh,
just going toward him like a child in the middle of a school courtyard going toward a teacher because he's scared because another child just looked at him funny?
It was mostly that.
Okay.
Except that child was also had teeth and wanted to kill me. And
Just like high school.
but I would like to ask. Yeah, basically. I would like to ask. What you looking at?
It's too dark.
Like, is the moon supposed to be out or something? Or is it?
Not necessarily, but you don't hear owls in the middle of a mountain. Usually.
Do we? Oh, I didn't hear the owls.
I
Guess I'll-
not.
Listening for wolves. Uh-oh.
Something
Do the
is preparing.
think are they using the owls, do you think? Or is it not related to them? Or actually, I mean, everything's related to them, but
It is always hard to say what your enemy may be thinking or preparing. We have prepared for something, but maybe they have prepared for something else.
that is a good point. Their raid did not go so well last time. I didn't really consider them not raiding this time.
Did it go in our favor? That is not what your holy friend said.
I didn't say it went in our favor.
Georg just gets uncomfortable flashbacks.
Yeah. Definitely didn't go in my favor, that's for sure. But it didn't. They didn't get exactly what they wanted. I assume.
Assumptions are always dangerous when facing an enemy that can think.
Yeah. Do you think we've adequately prepared tonight?
I guess we'll see soon enough.
I suppose we will.
I can hear them gathering outside. Many of them.
They're not attacking the wards like last time.
No. They are preserving their numbers. A most ominous
like that.
observation.
How How long do you think your fortifications can last?
It depends on how aggressive they are in their attack. It will not fall quickly. And the caretakers have added a few extra protection.
That's at least mildly reassuring. Ooh.
That is always
That wolf.
ominous.
Yeah, it is.
And on that owl sound, we're gonna go to Remy. Go back a little few minutes in time, and what is Remy doing while these conversations, observation, and contemplations are going on?
I would say that perhaps as a form of safety, like Raimi has probably situated him, or would have at least attempted to situate himself on top of one of the roofs, but in sight of Jorg specifically.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Just as basically he's putting himself in a position where he can get a good observation of what's happening inside of the walls rather than what's happening outside, but then making sure that Jorg is going to be okay.
Thanks.
Um,
I would be offended, but I'm happy.
Well, that's easy enough to do. Of course, if you take on one of the walls that are either the wall where the entrance where everyone got in is, you'd be able to see outside and inside, and you'd have a diagonal view of where Jorg spent part of the night, part of the first hour, observing the wolves. There's also the walls inside, because there's the courtyard is separated by two walkways and a wall in between them. So you could also place yourself on that wall. You wouldn't be able to see directly what is in front of you, but you'd have an angle on the enemy. You'd be able to see a bit further away, and possibly be out of reach of an attack, and you'd have vision on Jorg. So I'd say those are probably your best choice.
Yeah, Raimi will probably go for one of the inner walls, since he is assuming that people are, since he has no idea where Tobiyashi is, apparently. He is assuming that people are watching the outer areas, so he's going to focus more on the inner areas, in case for whatever reason the cult has found other ways to intrude.
Okay. Well, you go up and you get. Hey, Chaotic Calling, join us. Cool. You get. You get a few glimpses of Tobiyashi, mostly when he's changing position, but he's good. You just get a glimpse of him, and then he disappears again in the background. And, all right, he's good. Maybe as good as you, from your perspective, of course. You see audience going in the center, acting as a leader, because he officially was called a leader in a few last episodes, so placing himself at the center of all of this. You see him at one point just taking the lever outside of the well and putting it back into the dimensional storing and then closing it up and then assuming back his glorious, visible position. You see Jord taking a few moments looking at the outside walls, and if you make a perception roll, you can even get a glimpse of what might be happening outside of the walls.
Incidentally, earlier today I received in the mail it's a gift from my friends at Chaotic Calling for extra large dice, so I am rolling those because they are easier to read.
Nice.
Well, then, thank you again, Chaotic Calling.
That is going to be a 22.
22, alright. So, as I said, it's also exactly the same roll as Tobiyashi for his stealth. So you catch a few glimpses of him, but he remains very good at what he's doing. You look outside, and yes, you see the same thing. You see wolves gathering, and your perception roll being slightly higher than Tobiyashi. And you've been in this monastery since the beginning. You also immediately notice that they have not started attacking the walls. The wolves are simply gathering. And it was hard to know exactly how many there were because they were just slamming themselves against the ward all night long. But with a slightly higher perception roll, you look outside and you easily count at least 50 on each side. They are massing a really large number of wolves. Far more than what a priest or druid of the level that you've seen so far would be able to summon on its own. And then you have the same reaction as Turane. You look up as you hear the owl of an owl, the hooting of an owl. I think that's what they do in English.
Yeah, they hoot. They hoot.
Okay.
We have a whole restaurant dedicated to it called.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I know the name of the restaurant. Never been there, but I know about it. Most likely because I don't live in the United States. So,
I just love our.
Yeah, that's what that restaurant is known for. It's known for its owl paraphernalia and nothing else.
Yeah. Just the owl paraphernalia, yeah. And some alright wings.
yeah. So, you also notice that sound in the sky, and as you're trying to look, see if you can see something, you also notice that the cloud cover is quite thick. Not a lot of any of the moons, of the two moons, is actually getting through.
Wait, there's two?
Yes, the Shattered Continent has two moons.
I skipped that.
Rune,
Okay.
Rune
You
and
didn't
Dust.
do your homework?
I-
For shame.
It's been a long time since I read what he sent me. I don't even know if I still have the email.
You mean you haven't read the entire 80 page I sent?
I downloaded a PDF thing to read it to me.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So yeah, the Shattered Continent has two moons, one large, one small. The smallest one has a darker color, and the largest one has a brighter color. So you look up, and neither of them is there, and there's not a lot of the light of the moons coming through. It's basically just the what a wholesome picture. It's basically just the lights of the campfire that have been opened, that have been made in the courtyard. And that's about everything you can see. But you definitely... that sound, that owl sound, is a bit weird in the middle of the mountain. Most likely close to a mile up in the air, with no trees around, except Orounak.
You know, owls are pretty stealthy when they're flying. They'd make a pretty good scout. Except for their hooting.
So this is everything you see.
Mm-hmm.
So Remy, do you do something
still-
else?
oh.
We're still on his perception roll.
I see.
I would say. Remy would go ahead and at least like call downward in the, I guess the closest ones would be audience and Jorg, but he would shout out in that classic gruff hearty voice, even the sky's full of rats, watch out.
You get a few priests that also look up and rats.
Rats.
Audience will just kind of glance up from his sitting position and be like, come they by sky or land, they all will bleed. Go back to his sitting position.
Do you say this just for yourself or in the thunderous voice so everyone can hear you?
No, I'll say it so everyone can hear me.
Okay. So the paladin, I don't know why, it feels like it should have echo while you're saying this. Like in Paladin in Warcraft 2. They all had an echo when they were talking. We don't know why.
Oh no, that's you see, that's Ramey's job because he just learned a new phrase and.
Instead of Scatman, it's Ratman.
There's some interesting visual things in that phrase. Alright, so. I think we broke Tobiyashi.
That's too many things inside one thing. I can't.
Alright, so.
I'm running back to find somebody.
Okay. Well, probably by the time that you decide to go inside, you can see that almost everyone is gathered at the center of the courtyard near Audience's glow and Touranne's foliage.
All right.
So apparently it's really easy to find everyone.
Okay, I'm gonna look for Audience, which is probably right in the middle of the circle.
Yeah, he's the
And,
biggest light in the courtyard.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Audience. I'm like, all right, so they're setting up outside. There's about 50 of them from the corner that I came from. I have no idea. They're probably setting up all around the monastery at this moment. As what I know, I haven't been seen yet.
Audience will look around and be like, well, it seems they have brought their full strength. Now we will have to test our own against theirs. See if we can hold. It's what we stayed for. We shall see whether we have made the right decision.
Just for clarification, I'm talking in game. If this doesn't, at the end, we're getting caught, right? Is that what we decided?
No.
Or are we waiting for another day?
We're gonna try and win.
Okay, we'll try to win. All right.
And you'd ask Turane to help you in trying to capture at least one enemy.
Sure. At least one of them alive.
The key, I'll turn to them. The key is to find the druids. The wolves are merely a distraction. We have to. They are the ones creating the wolves. We have to find the druids and kill them. Or capture them. That's our
All
priority.
right. Sounds like a plan to me.
Will we leave the safety of this fort if we have to find them, or should we?
Audience shakes
Not-
his head. I
Okay.
believe they will come to us.
Yeah.
And just as you hear a wolf howl in the distance, just like the ambiance has been doing, you hear another one respond on the other side of the monastery, and then another one respond at the back end of the monastery, another one responds at the front end of the monastery. It only takes a moment until you hear.
There it is again. Well, it looks like they're starting their assault.
Sure
But
do.
it doesn't keep on going as it did every single night. You hear one. You see few of the priests walking about, going toward where the sound was. And then another one on another wall, a different wall. You see a few priests moving, going toward the sound. Then completely at an opposite end, toward the back entirely here.
I think they're trying to split everyone up.
I'll shake my head. We should not split. They will eventually come to
Oh.
us.
Yeah. We should keep the priests. We know the
Yeah.
walls are gonna fall.
I'll tell the priests. I'll turn to the priests as they start to go off. I'll be like, leave the walls. We should all gather here. We want them in one spot.
The first priest you say this to sort of looks at you a bit fearful for a moment, looking at the wall. You get the feeling that it has been what's been protecting them for the past few weeks, every single night, and you just told them to not keep them up. There's a moment of fear in his eyes, sort of taking away the net that has been protecting them from falling so far. Okay. What should we do then?
We should all gather around the well. We'll make a ring. We're making our stand here.
Okay. Sure. Okay, I'll pass the word around. And you see him leave. Takes a few minutes, then you start seeing other priests gather up toward the center of the large courtyard around where audience is, around the well.
Audience will tell them not to bunch. I'm going to turn to them and be like, do not bunch up too much. Try and separate yourselves by a certain number of feet apart. We have priests that I know can do areas of attack and like to hit bunched up groups. Try and at least keep a somewhat spread between every individual.
Okay, you heard what he said. He has more experience in large combat. You hear someone just whispers, "I hope." So don't bunch up. Just spread around in the courtyard. Not so far that you can't reach someone who's injured, but not too close so that you can be hit by a large area spell. Okay, You're another one. Sure, that's always a good idea.
I'll walk up to one of the priests and go, is there anything else you guys could do other than wards? Or are you guys just warders?
No, we all have a variety of spells. We're all priests. Of course, we can heal.
Anything to help us fight?
Well, most of our concentration has been placed around just freeing up our spells, but yeah, some of us can actually help a little in a fight other than with striking with blunt object.
Well, not like helping us to attack better. Not you guys attacking.
Us. He turns around, looks at other around him, and
Like maybe blessing us or
yeah. You hear one say, yeah. I've prayed for this. You hear another one say, "Oh, guiding bolt. I prayed for this. Got it." You hear one with a little deeper voice say, "Well, I knew we were gonna fight, so He says it in a bit of a guilty voice. I prayed for harm.
Oh, I see. Well, use them on us when you can. Whenever you could use them, you see a chance to fight, use it. Don't split up too far, but don't be too close together. Like Audience said. As long as you could help us, I'm pretty sure we could get through this.
Right, alright. Nope, that's the wrong spell. Come on. Here you go. Okay, so let's get ready for this. And they're all looking around, they're all looking up, and suddenly they hear another strike on the barrier. You see one that has sort of the reflex of going toward it and holds himself back. And suddenly you start hearing in the distance not only owls howling, but you hear thunder.
Guys, we're dead. It's a storm giant. We gotta go. We just gotta leave these people to die. I don't know what to tell them.
I don't know how to fight this. Let's go. Let's get out of here.
Let's go.
You. Oh, nice wolf howl.
I'm gonna turn to Rami and be like, would it be possible where the fight starts to perhaps put your hut down in the middle of everyone, so if like people need to fall back into a safe area that the enemy can't get in, we can have like just a space in the middle of all of us that we can enter but they can't, the priests and the others.
He'll answer you as soon as he come back. He just sent me a message saying that he need to put drops in his eyes.
Yeah.
Remy
is struck mute with fear for a little bit. He has to get his courage back up to speak.
He's just staring at you, shirtless.
Playing dead. No.
All right, so that's audience's reaction. In a few moments, we'll get Remy's reaction. Jorg, is there something you'd like to do while Remy is rehydrating his eyes?
Rehydration.
It's important. Look, rehydration.
I should get a water bottle.
Or a gasoline tank.
Or I have my water bottle. It's just empty. I should fill it.
I'm working on carving my own mug, so That'll be
Ooh.
out in a minute.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
That'll be
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
neat. What would Jorg do? Right now, it's just kind of wait for something to happen, I guess. Which is never a good tactical position to be in.
Yeah.
But,
uh,
oh,
oh, you go. I was gonna see.
no, you say it.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna see. We're next to a building, right? The monastery.
The monastery is the general shape of the monastery is.
Is it like a regular monastery?
Well, there is such a thing as a regular monastery. I've looked into
Well,
this.
like if you looked up a picture, yeah.
I've looked into this before building this monastery. There are hundreds of configuration for a monastery.
There is.
So, as I was saying, the general shape of the monastery feels like a digital clock 4. So most of the main buildings are in the upper left corner and at the center. There is what looks like to have been an intentional barrier closing off the garden at the top right, and the bottom right is where all of the buildings where food supplies were supposed to be, as well as the kitchens, and the rest have been just placed there to finish the 4 shape into an 8 shape, sort of just to close off the area and also place something where people can sleep. You easily have the feeling that the monastery wasn't complete. They hadn't started building the thicker defenses of the monastery.
Okay. Next question? Is there a roof, and how tall is the building?
Well, if you go on the complete back end of the monastery, there is a building that is made of stone that is roughly 3-story high. You get the feeling that this is where the priests sleep. There's probably a gathering place where they talk about different important things of the monastery. There's a cloister right beside it, and it's in a proper church there. So this is probably where they pray and contemplate the universe a little bit. So this is the upper left corner of this 4 shape. Is where all of the main buildings are. The sturdiest one, the one made out of stone.
All right. Okay. After that, I'm gonna go to one of the priests, and I'm like, so I was examining the building, and you guys have any way to get on your roof?
Of course. From inside the building. I mean, we were planning to add a proper roof to the building, so yes, we have ways of getting up there.
See, I want to figure out a way to use that to our advantage. I don't think that wolves can get up the roof if they have a ladder to get up there. How do you get up there? What's the way you get up there?
From inside, there are a series of stairwells, a bit narrow toward the end, but we only needed a few people to get up there, and we would have placed a scaffolding and pulley system to just get the material up.
That's a good idea.
I'll head over to the audience, and I don't know if the rest of the group is by him or where they're at.
Probably,
But,
you arrive at audience just as he's turning around and asking Remy if he wouldn't mind, if he can put up the dome with as many people in it when he casts it, so they have a place to fall back. So this is what you missed, Remy. The audience asked you if you could place the dome for this. So you arrive just as he's asking Remy this.
Yeah, I'll let him answer before I say anything else.
I mean, I guess I guess Raimi will give the thumbs up and, I guess at least begin ritual casting. It's gonna be a hot minute.
Okay.
And by a hot minute, I mean a hot several minutes. But anyway,
Hot several minutes. Okay. I walk up to him after he's done talking to Remy, and I say, so I just had an idea. Maybe we could keep most of the priests safe, or at least they could have some sort of protection if we could get them on top of the roof. They could even help us from up there, shooting down, blessing us, different things like that. What is your thoughts on this? I say this out loud for everyone to hear.
I'd be worried though. I agree it could be helpful, but I'd be worried if they were attacked on the roof, we'd really have no way to support them.
Well, yeah, that is true. They can't put up wards up there, can they? They already used all of them. I'm guessing.
You don't know. You've never asked if they have a way to make more, how long it takes. Is it just a spell, or is it really something that they build? You've never asked that question, so you don't know.
Okay, well, it was just a suggestion. I thought it'd be a good idea. Maybe it could be somewhere we could retreat if the going gets tough and we got to get them out of here.
I think we should maybe prepare for that. We could instead defending here, we could defend around there, and then that'll give us a. We'll end up bottlenecking to get up there.
they start having this conversation as Raimi is doing
He's
the
already
beat
making
dance.
his. Yeah.
Quick,
I think-
we'll move Raimi to the roof.
Well, he's casting it, so like.
Uh-huh.
You
Hold
can't
him, just hold him in
interrupt
front of you.
the cast.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Well, if you grab him by
Maybe
the
it could be a
waist and just
retreat
let him
position.
keep on casting, he's gonna look funny.
Yeah. It'll be weird, but he'll finish it up there.
yeah, that could be our plan B probably. Because they said there's narrow hallways. If we have to run down there, we could probably choke wolves coming up. When they do come up.
Yeah.
So.
But if we go up there now, we'll force them to choke on the way up.
But do we have time to get everybody up there? Because they're already attacking the walls.
The problem is this fight somewhat relies on our tree friend, and I don't think he can join us on the roof.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he could kill them before coming to the roof, right?
I mean, I think it'd be good if we could at least support him. I believe he can kill most of the wolves, but I don't know if he could. I don't know like how easily he could survive if however many druids, 3 or 4, like attacked him. I think that's what he would need our support for.
All right. So we'll just use that as a plan B for when the going gets tough. When everything's going to shit, we'll just run up there, take as many priests as we can with us, and yeah, we'll just go with plan A for now.
Yeah.
All right.
We have
Okay.
to remember as well, we can't group up just like the priest. Remember what the
Yes.
Remember what the priest said last time. He wanted us all to group up in a spot so he could hit all of us.
Yeah.
We have to
that
make sure to
big
stay
spike.
separate.
Got a concussion from that. I think I'm all right still, but we will see.
Jorg almost lost a
Yeah,
foot
I
from
got-
that. But
Yeah. Yeah, that was not a good experience.
all right.
I stand like 20 feet away from audience and everybody else. What, 20 or 10? What do you think? 20 or 10 feet away? What do you think the range is on this thing?
We should do 20.
Well, if we do 10, it'll only mean they can catch like 2 of us, which,
But still,
assuming,
that's a lot of damage.
I mean, there's no
Yeah.
reason not to do 20. We can still all move
Yeah.
to each other within 20. We can still. That's within.
that's a good
I'll
point.
be 20 feet behind audience.
Just
I will
just
be-
for the record, just in case this actually does work, like
Yeah.
exactly which individuals are going to be around Raimi while he is casting this, because
I'm
that is
around.
important.
I think. Well, I'm around Raimi. I think because you are. You were putting it basically over the well, and I was on the well.
How big is the area? Because before they get in, we should clump everyone there, so that they
It
can
is
get
a
in.
it is a
Well, you're
10
talking
foot
lasers
radius.
real quick.
It's a 10 feet radius, so it's basically a 20 feet diameter sphere.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to get very many priests in here, but it'll be a good fallback for us.
You can get up to you can have up to 9 medium-sized or smaller creatures.
Which means it's more for those who get injured and need to fall back during the fight.
Yeah,
Okay.
but do they have to be in there when he casts it for them to get in?
When he finishes the
They're going to
spell,
be
yeah.
barred out.
Yeah, once I finish it, whoever happens to be within the area is considered to have the free pass. But everybody else is as the Lord once said, shit out of luck.
All right.
Question: Can your spell can the people inside walk in and out freely?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Just jiggle peek the wall, just like go in and then go out and then go in and then punch.
Jiggle peek.
again, very interesting images in my mind with this. Okay, so... Alright,
Just so everyone understands the mechanics.
Yeah.
Spells cannot pass through it, but any person or object that was within the sphere's radius at the time that the casting was complete can pass freely. This does include like projectiles or weapons that can extend beyond its reach.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Just so that's known.
Alright.
Okay.
So the best weapon you can have is a sling, because there's so much sling you can use in a sling.
One more thing, Remy. Can you? Is there a bottom? Like, it's just a spear and it has like a bottom to it, or is there just ground on the bottom?
I believe how we ultimately decided, because of like how confusing the wording is with respect to that, that the ground is still solid, like the ground is still ground. If you're casting it on the ground. Although notably, if you're thinking of like stuff like earth tremor, for example, no, it can't. It still can't hit the area underneath, because there's no direct pathway to put the center of that spell.
So the wording of the spell, and this is something that confuses a lot of people, because Jeremy Crawford once said that the spell was intended to simply be a demisphere, but he worded it as a hemisphere, and a hemisphere in the dictionary is described as half of a sphere intersected by a plane. So technically it means there is a bottom, but again, the way that the spell is written, there shouldn't be, because if it intersects with another object, the bubble doesn't form. So you'd have to have a perfectly flat floor in order for the spell to work. You wouldn't be able to use it at a campfire, because ground is not flat. You'd only be able to use it on marble tiles or things like that. So
Okay. All right. That's all I wanted to know. Just in case they could like attack from the bottom or something.
The only way they'd be able to attack from the bottom is
if they start
going essentially.
Underground.
'Cause,
Okay.
like I said, because there's no direct pathway for like the center of something like an earth tremor, for example, to get through. It would basically, the spell would go off outside the sphere, not inside.
All right.
So basically, if you want a horror movie, you make sure that the purple worm appear at the center of the dome.
Yeah, I was just thinking like they make the spike come up and it just squishes everyone against the dome and there's. You know,
Yeah, but with the purple
Just thinking.
worm, you hear everyone screaming before there's a long silence. So, so you're all there, bunched up at the center of this, and waiting for Remy to finish, and everyone just trying to make one step so that they can all sardine themselves as many as they can, so that they can all enter and leave this dome. As everyone is waiting with anticipation, you hear in the skies thunder, and then suddenly you see a flash of light, and the sound that it makes you feel like, oh goodness, that has fallen so close to where we are. And then you turn around and you look in the direction that you think it's fallen, and you see a charred priest fall to the ground on its knees. And then another strike hits the ground close to where you are. Coming from above, you start seeing flashes of lightning hit the ground.
I'm gonna
Should we
tell
get
everyone to
everybody
fall
inside?
back. Yep, tell everyone to fall back in the dome till the thunderstorm's over.
You see
Yeah, everyone-
you see a
How many of the
priest
priests?
just
God.
narrowly dodging the lightning. He definitely got injured by this, but he's still alive.
Oh no.
George,
Okay.
would you make
I'll
a
have to see if that's
dexterity saving throw for me?
Oh,
I think
George-
that's what the bites were
George
for.
Dex isn't super great. A 15. Ooh.
15.
Oh
Oh,
god.
goodness.
That's average.
It's like, yeah.
I mean, a 15 isn't bad though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not
it's
bad.
Depends
like,
on what their spell
it's-
status is.
Yeah.
I
good enough that I can
lowered
see myself.
That's not level 12. You're gonna die if I launch a level 12 at you. I had lost my place on my huge folder of monsters. So
It's like level 12 lightning bolts. I'm like, what? Excuse me.
so you said your save was
15?
you just make it.
Let's go.
So you take 8 points, a total of 8 points of lightning damage as you manage to dodge the lightning as it's falling. Still take a little bit of shock with this, but you immediately recognize this as the bolt of a call lightning spell.
As that happens, as he dodges it, I run for cover. Under like something. I think the orb is full, right?
There's still maybe a few minutes before Remy finishes casting.
Oh. Then we should get everybody under like a building or something. Because
Do
we're
you
just gonna
have
keep
any-
losing people.
I'm gonna turn to the priest and be like, can anyone cast any quick protection spells while we hold out?
Protection spells? You hear one go, yeah, sure, and he casts his bless on as many people as he can. It's gonna catch a few of the priest and a few of you. So apparently, Jorg, you get hit with a blessing spell. No, not twice you. And
Aw.
Toby doesn't work with twice, but blessed twice.
Twice buff. Let's go.
Tobiyashi, you get blessed, and apparently that's it. The rest of the blesses go to other priests. Let's see. No, that's not gonna help. Audience, you receive a sanctuary spell. Until the spell's end, any creature who targets the warded creature with an attack or a harmful spell must first make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature must choose a new target or lose the target or lose the attack or spell. This spell doesn't protect your creature make an attack or cast, and it's gonna work as long as you do not make an attack or cast a spell. That affects
So not very long.
an
Not
enemy.
very long.
That affects an enemy creature.
Alright, well, I guess if anyone
so
attacks me,
potentially
if anyone attacks me, you guys are kind of fucked by that because they're gonna have to choose a new target.
Apparently, they don't seem to. Okay, he's gonna cast it. And one casts aid. Oh, okay. So at the same time, audience and Remy, you both receive a aid spell, which grants you 5 temporary. Each target hit points maximum and current hit point is increased by 5 for the duration. So you both get 5 temporary hit points, and your maximum hit points goes up for 8 hours.
Oh, so so it goes up by 5. Okay,
It
so
goes
my
up by
max is
5,
now-
and you also get 5 more hit points because of that.
My max is now 60. I'm just gonna remember that. I don't want to change that.
Okay. And Remy as well. That's all of the. Yeah, that's all of the spell that you receive. One of them seems to be casting something. You're not sure what it is, but he's not aiming at you. But oddly enough, everyone who receives the spell looks a bit calmer.
Alright. And then I'm gonna say we just have to hold out until Remy gets open the dome. I don't think necessarily the storm will last forever.
George, can you make a religion roll, please?
All right.
He determines that this is not the act of a druid. This is just
13.
the act of a wrathful god.
Yeah. It's the dragon gods just.
Oh no, God! This is. Oh God! This is the Old Testament God. We're
Oh
fucked.
god. Oh no.
Fucked, yeah.
So, George, you said you rolled a 13?
Yep.
All right. So you sort of have this information lying around in your mind because you have the proper level to learn this, and it's just a question of prayer. This can last at least 10 minutes, non-stop.
Yeah. I think we should get inside.
We might need to get inside, like I was
Yeah,
saying.
this can last a while.
How many times can it strike for those 10 minutes, though?
Enough. I
Once
assume.
every turn.
So once every
a
6
lot
seconds?
of times.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
So we
saying
shouldn't-
100.
So we have to give up on the dome?
Yeah, I think we do. We
Yeah,
have to
wait,
get
that's 2 minutes.
into.
Actually,
we don't have to
I'll
hold
turn-
out in the courtyard anyway.
I'll turn towards our tree friend and be like, is there any way we can set up a protection for at least a couple minutes? Any way we can barricade off the sky?
If I
That roof
can
to that
try
roof.
something. And he starts casting a very large fog spell. Cast it, you see the sky go completely dark, and for a moment, you sort of have hope that, alright, they probably have a broken line of sight because spell uses line of sight. And then suddenly you see a lightning strike one of the priests,
Okay.
who fails his saving throw, so he falls to the ground and is unmoving. Okay, they can see through that. I'm not sure why. Remy, would you
I think
make it?
because we're marked by scent.
Remy,
Plan B.
Remy, would you make a dexterity saving throw for me?
Plan B. I start to gather the priest, and I want to head them towards inside.
Okay.
19.
19. All right. Well, that is enough to succeed the saving throw, which means that's a
Help me.
good thing you
Yeah.
made that saving throw, because it would have been 23 points of lightning damage, but it's halved because you succeeded the saving throw.
Yeah, let's get everybody inside.
Yeah. Yep. Everyone in.
Help me gather everybody up. Let's go. We start to take people inside, like a herd of sheep.
So, is there?
Yes.
No, wait.
Let's have some.
Is there a target or just an object that call lightning is cast on, or is it just kind of? Oh well, actually, I could use dispel magic. I just remembered that. Is it worth the 3rd level slot though?
Well, the question
Just
is,
get the
what is the range of that?
Oh, 120 feet.
120 feet. Well, if you can find where the cloud that is throwing the lightning is, you can probably dispel that. But it's the middle of the
It's just
night.
Dark. Yeah, I think it's gonna be
We-
easier to get inside. And
So my
then I can-
question is, if I stand over Remy, and they can't technically target me without targeting someone else, could they technically not target Remy until
Can
Cover
I?
him with your shield. You're just like,
until Remy's done with his spell?
All right. Can I? I'm gonna go ahead and answer this question. Call lightning doesn't target a creature; it targets an area, and sanctuary explicitly does not protect you from an area of effect spell.
Ah,
Okay, so yes, so that wouldn't work.
So so I, the player, already recognizing how this is not happening. Raimi is going to fold back up his book and also start retreating into a building.
Yeah. Audience will follow.
All right. In that case, you see everyone.
You're going upstairs? Roof? No roof? Does the roof have a top on it?
I mean,
No, they're
it's a
planning on
roof.
building it. That's what they
Ah.
said. They were planning to make
So
a proper
second
roof.
floor, that has a roof.
I mean, Audience is just gonna go stand in a doorway. Like, he doesn't want to go that far inside.
All right. Well, there's always the sides of the hallways that are on side. It looks like a bit of the cloister.
I'm just gonna
side.
go into any place that has cover over it, and then just stay there. I don't want to go fully inside.
Okay.
All right. So as you all start moving, there will have a few opportunities to target a few people. So, this means 2 rounds. So.
There needs to be a feat where you could uncanny dodge a spell. Can you uncanny dodge a spell? You can, right?
You can
You
uncanny
are-
dodge some directed attack.
Okay.
You can uncanny dodge something that has an attack roll.
Also, do
Ah.
remember my cat is here if you're adding targets, by the way.
Okay.
Where's your dog?
my dog is inside. Is undercover now.
Does your dog ever attack?
Right-
No, it's a puppy.
Right now,
so I
it's
don't
just
think
a puppy.
it's got stats.
I thought it was huge. Okay.
It is going
no,
to
in
be
the
huge.
picture it is, but I was future-proofing the picture.
Oh, okay.
It is going to be huge at one point, but not now.
I see.
Right now, the dog is just excited to receive attention, and it goes to retrieve plants when Jordan says go fetch.
Yep.
So, as you're all trying to move away, you find yourself in the middle of this near artillery barrage coming That's bad saying it like this, especially since I'm French. So since I can speak French, I'm so sorry for having pronounced it like this. So there's this really,
What, barrage?
yeah, well, it's a French word, barrage. It's
I know what that is.
No, I mean I pronounced it in English. I'm so sorry.
Oh. Oh.
I really should have pronounced it in French. I'm always scared that people won't understand if I say it in French, so... Alright.
Wow.
So you find yourself in the middle of this barrage of lightning bolt as you're all trying to move. It's like trying to run across a field in the middle of World War One. You get impacts around you, bits of dirt exploding. You see a priest dodging out of the way. Last second, you see another one not being able to dodge out of the way and just fall to the ground, completely charred. While you're all running, you also have Tourane, who basically moves as best as he could near all of you and tries to extend his arms like this as you're all leaving, absorbing part of the thunder, and lightning that managed to make its way. But even so, even with this, audience, I'd like you to make 2 dexterity saving throw, and Tobiyashi 1 dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
Yeah,
I should be
20.
fine.
I fail 1 and succeed 1.
Okay.
Even if I add the blessing, I rolled a nat 1. That's a 7, but I rolled a
Wait,
natural
what does the
1.
blessing give you? It's a D4.
A D4.
Right?
On
Plus
D4.
4? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I still couldn't. I think even if because I rolled a 9.
If the DC's
So-
11, then I could make it, but I already rolled a crit 1.
I mean, I guess I'll see what I roll because I don't actually know what it is. Nope, because it's 15. So no, I couldn't have made it anyway.
Alright, so... I believe that was mostly fortunate. Tobiyashi, you said you fail, and audience...
Critically failed.
Critically failed. Audience, 1 success and 1 failure.
Yeah.
Was it the first one that was the success, or the second one?
Yes, the first one.
The first one was the success. So this is the worst strike of all the roll that I made, so that's a good thing. It's basically 27 points of lightning damage, halved because you succeeded your saving throw, and halved again because you're because of your heritage.
Yeah, so that's 10, 14. So actually, I only take 7.
So you
I
take
my-
push a priest out of the way, and
With
boom.
my HP, temp HPs, I only actually take 2 damage.
so it just
Barely tickles.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember this when I was a child.
You just see this massive bolt of lightning, like double strike audience, and audience it's just like, what? Oh, okay. I feel energized.
The second one that you failed your saving throw hits you for 15 points of lightning damage, which you can have because you are resistant to lightning damage because of your heritage. So all in all, it's invigorating. Tobiyashi, you take 13 points of lightning damage.
Okay. I'm kind of messed up. We'll say that I was pushing a priest out of the way of getting hit. After I get struck by the lightning, though, does anything happen to my weapon? Since it's a really charged lightning, right? Would that work? It's lightning. It's condensed. I know it's not a shard, but it should feed it a little bit.
Not enough to actually gain something out of this. The dusts actually, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry, I didn't post it on D&D Beyond. I finished writing it. So the dust, pebbles, slivers, and shards are they're excessively condensed version of this. It's essentially the essence of a plane that has been solidified, and that's what is inside of dust, pebbles, slivers, and shards. So a lightning, that's sort of like the plane sneezing. The shard is like what comes out when you sneeze.
Okay.
But just feeding, yeah, no, you're. It's like
He's fed.
yeah. Good meal, spicy, yeah.
Yeah, spicy. I could say that. Jeez.
You feel it vibrating in the ball. More, I want more.
I don't know if it's the ball or if it's my hand. I'm just like,
As you touch your hair, standing on hand, you have the ball in your hand, and you feel it vibrating.
my beard is all spiky. I'm just like, okay.
But
I continue to run.
yeah, no, that was all of the rolls. I did all of the rolls to see how many times you all got hit. Priest got hit. Orounak got hit. As you were all running toward this. So because Orounak covered you for most of this, he absorbed a lot of lightning strikes. But the enemy could still get in a few, and well, you lost another priest while running, but the rest are just injured. They managed they succeeded their saving throw. But you managed to find yourself under the cover of one of the walkway. And as you're all there, looking up, feeling that, okay, there is a small break in this, suddenly you hear several lightning striking the inner walls. Just and you see a little bit of stone just being blown up, a little bit of wood, splintered wood going away, being blown away. Okay. You see Orounak, of course, can't get under the
Yo, this man's gonna catch on fire.
he can't get low enough to enter the what's hidden. So he's looking around. They're attacking the connection between structures. You're all being isolated. And they're not attacking me.
No, I don't think they have your scent. As I said, you are the wild card.
So what do we do? Are we just gonna wait here?
Oh man. What does it mean
Well,
we're
we
being
can't-
isolated?
We can't really. I think we should at least try it. If we are going to get isolated, we should try and get. I think this is the point when we're going to have to be like, the priests and the others are going to have to fend for themselves. Like, we need to give ourselves the best. We need to kind of honestly hope that they see us as the biggest threat and come for us first, and hopefully we can kill them. Like, that's our best bet, is to almost use ourselves as bait, like, because we're not going to be able to, like, so make sure at least we're isolated together. So I'm going to tell at least our party members to, like, try and group up. So if we are isolated,
Yeah.
we'll at least be isolated
Cool.
together, and then hope that they come for us first. Gotta be like, come near the doorway so we can, like, at least try and be the first line of defense if they come for the building.
Yeah.
You hear Orounak say, "Drawing attention then, huh?" You see him go back inside the court. With his large hands, he just grabs a large piece of earth where there is one of the fires that's there to maintain a bit of light. But he scoops it all up and he just presses on it just a little bit. Audience, your character has lived long enough high up north, where you've seen at least once or twice thigh-high snowfalls. So it feels like he's making a snowball out of earth and burning wood. He takes a moment and he throws it in the air as high as he can. It has a bit of a feel of a weird fireball as he throws it in the air. You just see this slide go and disappear in the cloud. Ah, this is where they're hiding. And he turns around and he starts responding in artillery, taking chunks of earth, pressing them down into balls, and starts becoming a catapult aimed at the skies.
I'll ask him basically what's happening. Like, what are they doing?
They're somewhere up there. I don't know where exactly. Maybe I'll get lucky. And he throws another huge earth ball. They keep on attacking the sides of this place, but Tourane seems to be standing in the middle of this and not taking many attacks.
Yeah.
It's as if they don't see him. Alright, well, Jorg, Audience, and Remy, since you can all use magic, I'd allow you to make the proper roll. So for Jorg and Audience, it would be Religion. For Remy, it would be Arcana.
Alright.
12.
I'll make a
Oh,
perception check to see if I can see him.
Electronic dice.
1.
Oh, it's really unfortunate that Raimi is making this roll. Probably. We're looking at a 25. I almost got there.
Yeah. So, Audience, you look up and... Well, that's impressive, you know? Some of the ball he's throwing are... like... catapult munition set ablaze by the fact that he added a bit of burning wood to this thing as he was throwing it. It's pretty impressive, and unfortunately your attention is not aimed upward. Jorg, you have enough to know, you rolled high enough to know that most spell you can only attack something that is seen, which is a bit odd right now. Because no one's looking inside of this place, at least that you can see. And the range of spells aren't unlimited. They have to be within a certain radius of where the spell is being emitted, but that's it. Remy, because you rolled so high, you can't actually cast a spell that would do this, but you immediately notice the weirdness of this situation. Tourane is throwing catapult munition straight up at something that seems to be moving in the clouds. The cloud should provide a complete cover, because you can't see through them, and Tourane did cast a huge fog spell right up. So, with what he's doing and what you know, you'd expect that, okay, he's probably aiming at something beyond the fog, on the other side of the clouds, and for some reason they can't see you and the priests, or attack the walls, but Tourane seems to be invisible to them, meaning they don't have visual confirmation of Tourane's place.
I don't appreciate the fact that these guys have downloaded a wall hack cheat code.
Wall hacking! This is like Call of Duty all over again.
Dang. They must be. Never mind. So it's not. They're not visually seeing us. They're maybe. Oh, they're attacking the people that the wolves have bit. I bet.
Yeah, they
They're
are.
able to sense our blood or something.
That's why they're killing us and the priests.
Is,
Or they're
there,
hitting
Yeah.
us and the
is
priests.
there any way to hide or send?
We could
No.
try bleeding all of our blood out.
What about like a stink cloud or something?
I don't have that.
I don't either.
I don't think it's more of a said thing as much as they've marked us specifically.
Yeah, I
So
think
it's like we
something.
stand out. And I don't
Remember
think we have a way to get ourselves, or at least we don't know of a way right now ourselves to get us
Well,
unmarked.
especially since Remy is the one that rolled all of this, he's the one with all the information.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
certainly don't have any information of how to get ourselves unmarked.
Well, you've deduced part of it on your own before all of this, but Remy has the other side of the explanation. So how are you sharing that information?
Trying to think of what would be an appropriate phrase for this specific situation.
Tobiyashi, you said you rolled a perception roll. What did you roll?
Oh yeah, I haven't rolled it yet.
Okay.
I will roll it right now. Oh, a 17.
17. You are under siege. They're attacking the walls. But perceptions allow you to see one other thing. They're striking at the cover, right above people hiding in cover. So it's not only... It's as if they don't see that there's something between the person and them, but it's also destroying the cover that you have. Slowly, bit by bit.
Well, we know the spell only lasts about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So, and the
10 minutes is
cover,
pretty
it's
long.
a stone. Well, it's stone. It should last at least 10 minutes.
I mean, if we can... I think the only chance is the dome, if we could get everyone in the dome before the walls get crumbled down.
I mean, yeah, we do have time now to put up the dome at least under cover.
Just based on the cover that we're currently using, how well connected, what I'm trying to think of the best way to put this. Are they largely like connected together? Are there large partitions between like all the covers throughout the monastery?
The way that it's made, the skeleton of the 8 shape, the digital 8 shape of this place, it's all passageways, the same kind of passageways that you'd see from around a cloister. With the exception of where all of the kitchen are, it's closed building because they're storing food and preparing food. But everywhere else, there is a layer of small rooms where people sleep, and then it's the sort of like cloister-like hallways all around this 8 shape. So there's quite a lot of it, and since there's one at the center, which right now is being hit repeatedly, the one at the center connects the left and the right of the monastery. Once that cover has been blown through, you'd have to run across an open area to get to the other side.
right. So it does look like a digital 8, but there is sort of like a certain degree of separation, like in the center part of the 8.
Yeah, right now it's being covered, but it's mostly, you get the feeling that the separation between the two sides is mostly to protect people from the rain when they get from one side to the next. So it's not strong cover. It's just a little bit of roof cover.
And compared to like the other covers that we can see, how targeted does it feel compared to other parts? Does it seem like most of the lightning is targeting that specific area?
Right now, yeah, you'd say that since everyone is under cover, there are a few strikes that seems to be trying to hit people walking under the covers, but a lot of the lightning strikes have suddenly started to concentrate themselves in the central region, sort of really to destroy that element of soft cover at the center.
The one where we are currently at.
Yeah, it's not directly above your head, but it's probably like 30 feet to your left from your perspective.
Raimi is going to say, no, this seems like everyone. Yeah, this actually seems like a very direct phrase for once. Raimi is going to at least call out, spread out, don't stay in one place.
Okay.
And at least in for Raimi's respect, since I believe that he has enough movement speed to cut across like any gap that might exist or might have opened, Raimi is going to like dash over to a different part of the cover.
Okay. Okay. Kobayashi seems to be thinking very hard.
That's the best way I can communicate that, because.
So how you explain the building thing, right? So there's the top, which has no roof, right? And then there's the room right here, and then there'd be a stair, and then how many stories is it?
Okay, so like I said, the monastery in its entirety has the shape of a digital 4.
Yeah. I just need to know how many, how many stairs there are.
Right now, where you are, you're not inside of the building. You're
yes, I know.
In front of the building where there is a cover. The building after that, where the one that you wanted everyone to go in because it's made out of stone. You'd have a little bit of walking before you get there, maybe 10 or 20 feet. And when you enter, the front of it has a rather large door, but it's mostly made out of stone, has a bit of an L shape, and you haven't explored it a lot, but from the open doors you can see that there's a large room and there are stairs going to the upper floors at an angle that you can see, and usually people like building symmetrically, so you guess that there's something very similar on the side that you can't see. And from the explanation of the priests, you know that on the 3rd floor there are very narrow staircases that go up to the roof of this building where they were planning to build essentially an attic.
Should we have everyone go to the 2nd floor and then go to the 1st floor?
All right. Well,
I don't know.
While you're thinking about this, Jorg and audience, is there something you'd like to do? If you say go to the bathroom, yes, as soon as you finish talking, we are going to take a break.
Audience is just gonna stay where he is and then wait for the cover to be almost broken and then move to a different spot.
Okay.
Like, so just look up at the ceiling and wait.
That seems like
But I think I cast another one.
best option. Oops, I'm looking at the wrong thing for spells. 'Cause I don't really have any spells that would help us in this situation.
As everyone's staying there, I'm just gonna go and inspect the place that you were talking about, the other building.
The stone building? Okay.
Yeah, I run over there.
Can you just roll dexterity for me? See if you can.
Yes. Yes! I rolled a 25.
All right. So you sprint toward the door, and just as you start, yeah, you just run as fast as you can toward the door, and just as you enter, you turn around and you notice that you entered there just in time because there's a lightning that hits right behind you. Well, 5 feet behind you because the radius of this is 5 feet. You had a better dexterity than him, so you were spotted and... Damn it.
Okay. Nice.
You beat him on the
Alright.
initiative.
I get there.
Alright.
I think Jorg's just gonna do the same thing as audience.
Look at the roof. Okay, that's gonna break. Change place.
That's gonna break.
Alright. Alright, in that case, everyone changes place. Tobiyashi ran inside,
Ooh.
and you have a bunch of priests all being very nervous and looking around, not sure if this is gonna last or not. And parts of the monastery are being destroyed. And Remy just shouted, "Spread out." So a few people do. Is there anything
As soon
else?
as he said that, he just threw me
Not that far. Anything else Remy would like to do before the break?
Raimi is just going to look disappointedly at that crumbling roof above them and the inevitable tactical disadvantage they'll be putting themselves in.
Okay. Okay. Well, in that case, it looks like we're going to take our break right now. So, see you all back in 15 minutes. I am taking note of the time. And we're going to be...
Bless you.
I stopped saying this because in French, what you say actually sounds more like you can have one wish. And someone said, I want a level, so I've never said it again. So
I want a level. What? Okay.
I'll explain it further in the break for you. So, see you all back in 15 minutes. Well, that's about it. That's all I have to say before a break. So, see you in 15 minutes. Bye. Ah, we're back! We're all back! Everyone's still alive! Yay!
Howdy.
Alright!
For now. For a few more rounds.
For
Yeah,
now,
for a few
we'll
more
see how
rounds,
long
you know.
that lasts.
Yeah, you know, and a night is 8 hours, so right now, maybe let's say that the group saw the wolves gathering, and then they started doing stuff, and maybe an hour has gone by, and now we're reaching an hour, 10 minutes. So they still have 6 hours and 50 minutes to go.
No, I'm not trying to hold out. I more think they have 6 hours before they, of us kicking their ass. Let's take this on a positive note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as they come down from their sky base.
I'm already at half health. I don't know if there is a positive note.
Oh yeah, I should heal you up before.
Probably you should probably heal while we have time, so you can use comments.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that. I'll heal him while we're around with a 2nd level cure wounds.
I will also use 9 of my lay on hands to heal
That's
myself back up to
14
full.
health.
Oh. Do I get temporary hit points or no? Just heal up all the way.
Are you among those that I said you got temporary hit points? I forgot.
Well,
No. Since because I took 13 damage and then I'm getting 14 back, so there'd be 1 extra hit point.
Oh no, it's not.
it just
I'll
gets
just heal up all the way.
He-
Okay.
he-
Just wondering.
Healing doesn't give. Oh well, yeah, that's right. We're still in the middle of a rain.
although audience, for your reference, I don't know how much overall damage you actually took, but you can technically heal yourself up to your new
Up to
maximum.
62, I know. I'm just...
That's a lot of health.
So, now we're back inside the atmosphere of lasting until dawn. Feels
Until
like
dawn?
there's
What?
feels like it's zombie movie, not a fighting against dark druids movie. All right, so as you all scatter a bit, you find yourself all under these very thin roofs made of wood and a bit of stone protecting you, and you see the wood splintering with each strike of lightning. Some of them are actually giving out, and suddenly you see people starting to move away to make sure that they are still at least slightly protected.
Magic circle would be good about now.
Magic what?
Magic circle. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah, it's a spell.
I mean, it is a spell, but I don't think it does what you think it does.
Keep going.
So, yeah, and you see priests doing their best, but since the connection between the two halves of the monastery, the right and left, has been severely attacked, none of the priests seems to be willing to go to the other side. They keep staying on one side because the connection has been mostly destroyed, and they all saw Tobiyashi running and barely just making it to the entrance of the stone building before a lightning tried to hit him, but just missed. But right now, yeah, the roofs are slowly degrading, being struck repeatedly. Tourone is creating balls of land as if it was snow for him, but for you, it's literally just mud balls, some covered in flames because he's using the flames of the different fires that have been lit up and throwing them up. So you have lightning flash coming from above and flaming catapults, munition going up and then down, but outside of the monastery when they're coming down. So right now, this is the image that you see. Audience, I believe you say you are waiting until they break in. Jorg, I think you said you do the same thing.
I would like to
Yeah.
investigate the building that I'm in. I want to look for any secret passages we may have missed, anything like that, any rooms that are there, stuff like that. Something that they didn't tell us.
Okay. It's gonna take a while. It's a large building.
Well, I'm mainly thinking of downstairs, just the downstairs area for now, because they told me what's upstairs already, and there couldn't be any way to kind of like
Okay.
go underground through the top area.
Okay. Make an investigation roll. Like I said, it's gonna take a little bit of time. It's not just one.
Yeah.
You're investigating.
We got time. We're waiting for that thing to be destroyed, basically. So
I feel like that when I'm jumping to you for this moment, I should have something like a elevator music.
yeah, I have elevator music. I'm
Outside.
just sitting around like
Thunderbolt falling everywhere, and then you are just there. And okay.
18.
18. Okay. Well, like I said, it's gonna take some time, but at least when you start, there doesn't seem to be anything that's been left out or forgotten or anything like that. But it's gonna take a while. All right. Remy, do the same thing as Jorg and audience, or do you want to add something to what you're doing?
Like I said, essentially what... I guess this is going to be a combination of things, but essentially, Raimi is going to be moving along to the best of his ability, moving along like the four-shaped cover of the monastery.
Okay.
But also doing his best to keep an eye out for, I guess, specifically any activity on the walls as well. Because Raimi suspects that there is more to this.
Okay. Audience, if you're trying to talk to us, you're muted. If not, that's okay, you're muted.
It's working.
It depends on the intention. If the intent is talking to us, then there's a problem. If it's to talk to someone that's standing right beside him, there's no problem. Alright. Okay. Then I'd say, are you trying to do this while evading the perception of your enemy, or are you just focusing on looking outside, seeing if something's going on there?
Well, I guess it kind of really depends, what would you say is like the average distance between one of the covered areas and the walls of the monastery itself?
For the most part, it's right next to it. I mean, while you're moving, because since it's just a cover, there's always an angle that you could be seen diagonally. So I'm wondering, are you trying to avoid being seen?
Well, the lightning itself can't go diagonally. And I believe Raimi, with his particular set of abilities, can move faster.
Okay.
Essentially, then they basically move from one cover to the next before having the chance to be targeted. That's at least the sense that I'm getting based on the scope of the monastery. Especially if he just moves along like where the cover is located.
Okay. Since
So
they
he just
are
goes back and
starting to
forth.
be gapped because the covers are being struck repeatedly by lightning, I'd say make an acrobatics roll. The DC is not going to be high, but
And also for the perception, I'll also have Raimi use one of his stored spell slots to increase his perception ability. But for the acrobatics roll, That is going to be a 15.
Okay. Sorry. There's a few moments where it feels like you managed to duck at the last moment, but 15 is enough. So you managed to move from cover to cover without being targeted or successfully being targeted. As for your perception?
Yeah, and now I'll roll the perception. And since it lasts 10 minutes, I can guarantee I can do this for the whole Call Lightning experience, unless they decide to cast more of it. Which there's always the possibility. That is going to be a 24.
24. Okay, so it takes a little moment, and you eventually get to the different portion of the walls. Of course, when you arrive in the kitchens, you do feel the heavier protection of these places. The walls and the roofs seems to be mostly made out of stones, so there's a pretty good protection, but there are still windows looking outside. So you look around and you find yourself on the other side of the monastery, and one thing you do notice immediately is that the only person mending the defenses on the other side seems to be the caretakers that Turane summoned. And as you arrive, you see some of them looking outside. They're, I want to say feet, but not really feet, just pushing themselves as if they were standing on tip of their toes, but for them it's just the tip of their root system. And looking out, and you find one who, as you're looking out, one just looks at you and, I think they're preparing something. There's a lot of them outside. And as you look out with that high perception, you immediately see that they're amassing. There are several hundreds of them outside. They're going to steamroll the protection on one side.
Is it the side that we weakened?
It's the side where there is almost no one, because everyone went running with you toward the building, so all of the priests are on one side. And the other side has no one there to protect it.
Raimi almost nods in confirming suspicions, and then proceeds to run back in hopes of getting to the others in time to warn them of this.
He sees you having a moment of panic, but he says, "There's a surprise waiting for them. You have a few minutes."
Raimi is confused whether that was supposed to be comforting or not, but
it's difficult. It's
bad.
difficult interpreting their expression. You know, they all have. I was gonna say stone face, but it's bark face. So.
Oh no, it's like no, we have an equivalent. They have a wooden expression.
Yeah. We use it for a different thing in French, but yeah, okay, that's good. It works. I trust you.
Oh, please, no, go ahead. Share with me some French expressions involving wood. I will more than happily take notes on it.
After the stream. After the stream. Okay. After the stream. Okay. So you start making your way to the other side. No, there's really a few of them that might seen in the wrong way can be weird. So you make your way to the other side. I'd like you to make another acrobatics roll as you're trying to move from cover to cover, so you don't spend enough time out of cover to be targeted and hit successfully.
Alright, that's better than the last one.
Then-
19.
Alright, then this time you're even more confident because you realize every places where there are holes, and you've managed to see that they're just increasing the destruction inside of them. Alright, I know what they're doing and how they're targeting things. You go with confidence. And they strike a few times, and there is a bit of a pause after a moment where, okay, well, they've been doing this for 10 minutes uninterrupted, and then there's a pause. Okay, so you start walking, and you get at the other side, you see audience, and then it starts again.
It's like, damn it, they realized their duration was up.
They have more than one spell slot.
Damn it, why couldn't these be warlocks? 20 minutes maximum.
Okay. So, oh yeah. A divine... Oh no, it's mostly only druids. Okay, never mind. So let's go. You get to the other side. You get to the other side where everyone is. It's just as the lightning strike starts to hammering the walls again. The places where people can walk and being protected. They're not aiming at stone walls. They're just aiming mainly at wooden walls, wooden roof. So you can easily see the wood splintering and exploding, and there's even one priest that gets injured from the explosion, but not from the lightning strike. And you get to your friends. As you're here in the distance, just Turane go, I think I hit something this time. Nothing's falling. I don't think I hit something. Takes another one and so go ahead.
Come on, I want one of those. I want one of those druids to take 20d6 of falling damage.
Let's go. One of them's
To
probably
be
already dead.
fair, how high does a moonbeam go into the sky?
40 feet.
Damn.
If you did it on the roof.
No, I would say we can't use the moonbeam as like a spotlight to point him out for Tronde, then he chucks a rock at it.
That would be pretty.
That would
I
be.
could. Do I still? I don't think I've got daylight. Oh, okay, yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
Alright.
Spend a sorcery point to extend the. No, I'm just playing.
But as Rainy finally catches up with the group, he says in that classic gruff voice, "All right, Rainy, you don't know what to do. The best way to get him is to stab him right in the back where they can't see you." And for visual aid,
You get a
because
few
that's probably
priests
not gonna
looking
be-
at you really weird after saying this.
provides a visual aid, minor illusion of a small-scale version of what Raimi saw.
Okay. You get a model version of Raimi's perspective. Looking outside, you see the head of the... you see a portion of the head of the caretaker that was just talking to him because he was in the field of view of Remy. And then looking outside, you see so many dots, bright dots of color. Sorry. Being the eyes of the wolves just moving about. There's so many of them.
So, what was it exactly you said? Stab him right in the back. Do we have a way to do that?
You get a few priests who says, I don't know. Do Shadow have backs? You get a priest saying, I've heard him talk before. I'm not sure this is what he actually means.
Throw rock straight up in the air.
Please, somebody roll intelligence rolls.
No, I'm not thinking he's gonna do the literal backstabbing, but I'm thinking is there some way that is there a trap for them? Is that what you mean?
Remy, I got my nat 20 for you. It's a 19.
Not
I've been with you a
20,
long
19. I got natural 20. What's the result? 19.
19.
Which is as good as audience will ever roll on intelligence.
Okay.
Oh my god. Yeah, if it wasn't clear already, Raimi is expressing that they have left their rear exposed.
Audience understands that on a deep level.
He doesn't know why, but something in the way he said it, it makes complete sense.
Alright, audience will re-say it
I've had
to
an
the
epiphany.
party. For anyone who didn't get it. They left their rear open.
Oh shit! Should we get out there? Is that what you're saying?
Have
Well,
the
I think
tree-
we'll get hit. I think we'll get hit by a lot of lightning if we get out there.
That's a good
the three
point.
throw rocks at him.
Could he, instead of
Attack on Titan
throwing
him.
the earth, pick up the great chunks of earth and cover us with it as we run? I don't know.
I don't think they're big enough to cover us.
Well, he
Whoops.
did cover you partially as you were running to this place.
Yeah. I don't think
Yeah.
that'll work. I mean, the problem is also the rear's... Yes, the rear maybe is exposed, but they know where we are. So they can see us
Yeah.
coming.
If we
I don't think
move,
it's exposed.
they're
log.
gonna know we're doing it.
Yeah.
Have the tree go out there.
I do.
He could. He's not doing too much. I mean, he's chucking earth, but I don't think it's doing too much.
Yeah. Do you think he'd survive? You know more about him than we do.
I think he would. Well, if the rear's exposed, yes, I think he'd survive. It'd be whether we'd survive in here.
Yeah.
Raimi. Raimi is going to find. Yeah, this will hurt, but maybe it'll get his point across. Raimi is going to take a few chunks of rocks that have inevitably probably came from the roofing.
Mhm.
The ones that look especially rough, and Raimi is going to step on them.
Natural
yeah.
one.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll I can put up a spike growth when they come through. I should prepare for that, but I should do it. Oh, if I do it too soon. I mean, they've already amassed there. We might as well go over there and get ready. I assume that's what you're talking about.
Raimi nods.
Yeah.
Sorry, there was a brief cutout for me, so this was like, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, spike growth. We should probably.
I'm
hit
not
that
there.
one.
I can't say anything.
Yeah, meanwhile, Tobiyashi, we have this elevator music playing in the background as you're just looking at the walls and trying to find secret passages. And
I'm like pressing stones, thinking they're gonna be buttons. I'm like,
yeah. No,
Working.
so far you did manage to find one thing,
I'm on a
a
serious
false
test, you know.
bottom in a cupboard. Yeah, apparently someone hid a few bottles of really old wine. So far, that's all you found.
I'll put that in my bag. That's a score. We might need this for later.
You never know.
So no, the bottles are very dusty. So hey, you either have very fine wine or vinegar. You're not sure yet.
They could be allergic to wine. Okay, we got it. I got the secret key, guys. We can do this now.
But so far, the priestess seems to have been very open and not hide anything,
Okay.
unless it's wine.
Yeah, unless it's wine. Yeah. I guess I'll just head back to the rest of them if I can.
Okay,
Doing another sprint dodge thing.
let's go, man.
Alligator
Acrobatics.
roll.
I think they have tried talking it out with the bad guys yet. Maybe we can just go over there with a white flag and have a nice.
I rolled a 20, not a nat. It's a dirty.
Okay. Well, in that case, it's more than enough. You know what
I
to
roll, I'm
expect. You know what to expect, and so you start
Yeah.
running and feint going left, but you go right, and then you see lightning strike as you're running away from the place where you feinted you were going to go, and there's a small satisfaction inside of you. It's like, ha ha! Did you waste the lightning?
Let's go get pwned.
So you manage to run back to where you are, and as you're all arriving, especially Remy, you can hear this. Tobiyashi is emitting a very glass clinging sound as he arrives near the party.
It's just in my sack. Ting,
There's
ting.
a cling, 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 cling as he's arriving, but
I literally have nothing else but those bottles and a couple of things in my bag, so he would hear that.
Remy looks at Tobiyashi confusingly.
I
Hold
look
on.
at you, I'm like, what's going on?
I'm gonna roll insight real quick. Oh no, it's only a 13.
Do I have to do something?
well, the way he's walking, you get the impression that he's adjusted his way of sprinting, as if he had something fragile in his backpack. But it's subtle, you know. It's
Very subtle. I run over to where everybody's at, and I'll say, what's the plan of action? I just cased out the whole area, made sure that they didn't put anything in the other room if we do have to retreat over there.
Remy goes ahead and gives Tobiyashi the previous visual aid.
Okay.
You get a snapshot with the head of a caretaker in one corner, and then a throng of wolves of little beady eyes that just moving about for a moment. There are
Oh.
at least 100 of them, probably more. And there's a priest that looks at you and says, "You found nothing?
Yeah, I didn't find anything.
Good, good."
Good. I'll say,
Remy
I'll
raises
look
an eyebrow. Well, a non-existent eyebrow. An eye
a
ridge.
feather. He raises a feather. I'm going to look at Tauron. Wait, how do you say his name?
Turon Hay.
Turon Hay. Okay, I'm gonna look over to him, and I am going to kind of say, have you hit anybody in the sky yet?
As you scream toward him, "Did you hit anyone?" "I think I did. I saw something crash over the hill."
Oh. I have a job for you. Stop throwing them up in the air and throw them over the wall. I point towards where the wolves are at, where that wall is.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
You catch him mid-swing and turns around and look. Yeah. In a few moments. And he swings again to the huge chunk of earth toward
Alright, well,
the air.
I got that out. And then I'm gonna brace myself with everybody else. Make sure I'll walk around and make sure like the priests are doing okay. Everybody's mentally alright.
Well, in grand total, there's a third of the priests of the monastery who seem to not have survived this. There's 4 bodies, 3 bodies in the courtyard, and one who unfortunately was standing too close to one side and got blasted along with part of the roofing. So there's still 8 priests left, looking very scared, unsure of what's happening and what's going to happen. Very often looking at audience in case he gives a new order.
Actually, I'll wait until you guys are done talking.
That was it. I just wanted to check on the priest, make sure they're not too afraid. Give them some calming words. Be like, "Hey, yo, we got this. Don't worry about it."
Yeah.
You arrive to one.
Yeah, we do.
Hey.
So here's what I'm thinking. We go prep towards where they're coming in, where they're gonna come in. I'll put up a spike growth when they do, and it'll at least weaken all the wolves that come through.
Okay. Magic circle? Not magic circle. Gosh, why do I keep saying that? Moonbeam.
Moonbeam doesn't cover as much of an area.
Could you use both?
Oh, well, I can't, but someone else might be able to. Wait, can I use both?
No.
Spike
They are
growth
both
is
concentration
also
spells.
concentration.
Ah,
yeah.
okay. So you have to Alright.
Yeah. But you think I can concentrate on 2 things at once?
Multitask your feet? Let's go. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
I'm just thinking of
it's-
new feats.
I've always found it a bit weird, the concentration mechanism in this, because I can understand you having difficulty concentrating on 2 spells which last 10 minutes. So, you have to keep saying something in your mind, you have to keep the prayer going, but when it's 8 hours, I mean, wouldn't you have problem going to the bathroom, keeping concentration for 8 hours on the same thing?
That's what we have the other people there for. They just unzip for them, take it out.
Can you take care of my pants, please? I have to keep concentration on the spell.
That's why we have a liege here. Why don't we have like a squire? We need a squire.
Why do you think prestidigitation was invented? It wasn't for parlor tricks.
Alright, so after another 10 minutes of pounding on the walls and all of this, there is another moment where nothing happens. There's a long silence. And here, we're gonna go with a long silence. That way it feels longer. There's a long silence where nothing's happening, and the skies is still completely dark. Even Tourane stops throwing huge boulders. Just waits for a moment. And he starts walking toward the well and takes his large boulder and open the well, throw the boulder in, close the well.
Okay.
What was that about?
Better munitions.
Oh.
He looks toward where Remy pointed out that there were many of them accumulating at the walls. And suddenly you hear one and it starts to just it's like driving through a cloud of insect. Hearing them just pop on the windshield, but it's on the barrier that's over there. And then suddenly you hear another silence. And then you hear one. Turane turns toward all of you. That's what they were planning. You wait a moment.
What were they planning?
What just happened?
It starts again, but at a much slower pace. It feels like there's a whole lot of them that aren't getting through. Just hearing just one.
Did you strengthen the wards?
No, the caretaker. They said they trapped the moat.
Oh yeah, the moat.
Nice.
It's not glass.
I forgot about the moat.
No, but I wanna head over there and see if I can help out with like a spike growth.
Okay, just spike growth. Okay.
The thunderspell.
Oh yeah, are they still striking us with?
Right now, there's nothing falling from the skies. I've intentionally stopped the music just to make you a little bit more uncomfortable, because there is no attack coming from the skies.
This is like when the teacher is at the front of the classroom while the students are just being rowdy the whole time, and they just stand there, silent. That uncomfortable silence.
Yeah.
Reminded me of something I learned in history class.
Well, what I learned in history class when I was in college was how to fake listening to what the teacher is. And it's actually the teacher that taught it to us, because he didn't want to have to teach to people that didn't want to listen. That's always good when your teacher teaches you how to fake paying attention.
No, but that's why in the middle of the lesson, like out of nowhere, without any context whatsoever, the history teacher just says, "And you know what? Maybe Hitler was right."
No, actually, in this class, the teacher at one point in the middle of the class turned toward a student and said, "That's it! That's what I was talking about! He is faking paying attention perfectly!" So, let's go with this interesting page of history, my own and history in general. Let's go back to the game. So, there are far less impact, and Jorg, as you're running toward the other side, you notice that someone beat you to it. The moat is completely covered in spike growth.
Nice. Saves me a spell slot.
You have one of the caretaker just looking at this. You see him concentrating and just taking a peek at you. I don't think they expected it.
Nice. Thanks for doing that.
It's not a lot.
Can't see with your eyes when they're up your ass.
Are you close to
Yeah.
Are you close to Jorg when you say this?
Yeah.
The caretaker looks at you for a moment and that's right, you can't play with your body the way we can. Alright, sorry. And he can smoke a thing. So, audience and Tobiyashi, what are you doing as you see Jorg and Remy running off toward where that is happening and looking at what's happening, and you see Tourane apparently starting to fill up the well.
Okay.
Just checking one boulder of earth inside after the other.
On the opposite side of where they're coming in, or where it looks like they're gonna come in from,
Yeah?
I'm gonna go around like that kind of wall right there. You'd say like big rocks fell from or like debris fell from the top, right? From the roof.
Yeah,
Or what
mostly
was the roof?
splintered wood.
Okay.
You probably recognize a few broken clay tiles. Some stone support. Stones from that wouldn't be larger than let's say, a basketball.
Is there any like broken pillars around that was like holding it up, or?
Not a lot. The roofing has mostly stood. I mean, it's severely damaged. Wouldn't be able to take another 10 minutes of this pounding before there are multiple breaches and no one would be safe. But the thing is that most of the roofing is made out of wood. Some of the columns supporting them are made of stone, but there's not a lot of them, and most of them are
Alright.
standing. There are a few broken ones, but
I am going to try to hide. I'll use a hide action and try to hide. Basically stealth, right?
Yeah.
Wait, hide.
Exactly,
Hide action.
stealth.
Yeah.
so roll for stealth.
Yeah. Roll for stealth. Let's go. Where's it at?
If it's on D&D Beyond, I believe it's almost completely at the bottom of the list.
I honestly think that I'm hidden, but I rolled a natural one. So, you know,
So
I always rolled ones on stealth. What is this? I rolled it on my last one too.
So you're convinced you're well hidden, but even audience looks in your direction and it feels like an elephant is trying to hide behind a bush.
No.
And audience, you have this moment of, is that what I look like when I try to hide?
All right, I'll just wait now.
Okay, so Tobiyashi is trying to hide. So audience, what are you doing while you hear this going on the other side?
Audience is gonna jump on his cat, and now that the lightning stopped, he's gonna take this moment to try and quickly run out to one of the edges of the wall and see if he can spot any spot where the druids are. So roll perception.
Yeah. Okay.
Or the priests. Yeah, the hunter priests. I always call them druids. Well,
They
They're
are
fallen
druids.
druids.
That is not inaccurate.
they're just like yeah. I don't know. They're not priests. I always. All right. Anyway,
Judging from
I'll
their
roll
spell
perception.
selection, they're half druid, half priest. So you can use whichever you want.
I mean, like, I like to consider druids to be clerics, but just with a boner for nature.
Alright, so then that's +4 plus advantage. So I'm gonna roll a.
You're saying
That's
they have a
probably-
hard-on for trees?
Okay.
They do definitely have a strong interest in wood and its
I
durability.
mean, they are pounding. So, you
So
know.
I'm gonna roll a 23 on my perception.
Wow, okay.
Oh, he could see.
You move about as fast as you can with your cat, and get one wall to the next as Jorg and Remy are observing what is happening on the side that's being heavily attacked. And one thing you do notice is that with such a high such a high perception, you can't see any druids. nowhere. But there
I can only.
is, but you can hear now what Turan Hay was referring to. There are some very faint hooting in the sky.
Oh, they've got giant owls.
So my guess. So then, I guessed I would deduct from that the druids must all be, the priests must all be in the air. So we haven't figured out a way to get them down, which we really don't have.
Raimi holds up his hands and casts Meteor Swarm.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
And then he realized he was daydreaming. And everyone around him just see Remy with his hands up and smiling.
Let's see, is there any way to put light in the sky? Do we have a way to put light in the sky?
Could remove the fog
I got
so we could see a little bit better.
Well, it was already dark. We couldn't see anything before the fog was there.
I'd say this is, I believe this is investigation. Yeah, it falls into
I'll be a
investigation.
-1. Oh, I'm doing well on my rolls. That's an 18.
18, all right. So
which is the second best roll I could roll now.
yeah. So I was reading the books, and investigation is it's not just to investigate something. It's also to figure out a puzzling situation. Yeah, using logic and clues that are there. You remember hearing people say that there was a layer of cloud in the sky because you couldn't see the moons, and you can see the moons every single day except one every year and a half. So there was a cloud cover, and you could hear hooting from behind that. Call lightning as part of the component of the spell conjures a storm. The problem is always that you have to have line of sight to hit someone, but you think they were able to get over that because they marked all of you. But that's also very smart, because they can see you through the clouds, but you can't see them.
Alright, I'm gonna tell Durande to clear the fog and see if the sky's cleared up, because that will let me know if I think they're gonna try and do another lightning storm.
Okay. You get him out of this weird obsession that he seems to have to fill up the well, and then he looks up and, oh, that's easy enough to do. Grabs up, pulls down, and the fog goes away. You can't see anything else. The cloud cover seems to still be there. Still be there. And still going on the perception roll that you made. It feels like the roof of these clouds is pretty close to the ground compared to what it should be.
Do I know about the spell? Do I know enough about the spell, the storm? Do I know that if the clouds remain after the spell's in effect, or if they're like preparing another spell?
Make a religion roll.
Okay, this one's going to be bad, by the way, guys, because my last 3 rolls have been 18, 19, 18, so I'm telling you this one's going to be bad right now. Oh, it was actually still a 14, so it's still 15 on the dice. Better than I expected.
Luck is holding.
Somehow.
For some.
The cloud cover would dissipate after the spell has finished. And as part of a new spell, the cloud cover would appear, would reform. But you also know that there are other spells which can create a cloud. Essentially, a fog is a cloud on the ground level.
Yeah.
So there's also
And I've
that
seen a
idea.
lot of fogs. Do I get a sense this is fog or another lightning strike? Now that I've seen both spells, from my very high perception roll.
Yeah, that's an interesting point.
Since I've now seen both spells used.
That's an interesting point. It does feel like the clouds you're watching are pretty smooth. So probably closer to a fog spell.
Mm-hmm. All right. So technically,
They could still just be hiding themselves while rearming. But that also means that they need to do something to be able to rearm. If they
Yeah.
need to hide.
all right. I'm gonna ask Taronde if he can clear fog as well as create it. Because I'm gonna tell him I believe that they're covering themselves with a fog spell.
Okay. That means that I need to check something.
Thunderclap in the air.
In this
Also,
case,
I guess I'll let Jorg know that there's the potential, because I don't know how dispel magic works, but he could potentially dispel the fog.
That's what I was thinking.
As it was a
That's an
lot lower.
actual.
Yeah, that's an actual thing you could do.
Yeah, I can see it. I know what. I mean, assume I know what.
Also, if you
what-
dispel it, then Taronde could get a rock on the ready to launch at the druids as they
Ooh,
appear.
yeah.
Maybe catch it with a
Ready in
surprise.
action. Already a dart too. Let's see if I could throw that far.
Already a dart. It's like I imagine this giant flaming boulder hitting like all of them, and they're all like falling, and just this little dart. Boo!
I mean, I have my own suspicions about what Turon A is about to do, but I'm kind of waiting to see if he actually does it.
well, I can probably try and conjure up a wind that can push away clouds. But that's as far as I can get. For now.
I mean, good information to know at the beginning, but
I mean, wind would still be useful if they're on flying mounts that may at least
Or if they
also
are the
like,
mounts.
blow them off course or affect, especially if they're flying mounts. It's hard to fly in wind that's strong enough to push away clouds. May force them down below the cloud coverage, in which case we can try and do something about them.
Very well, very well. It is not. Okay. So he looks up, wait for a moment, and then suddenly you start hearing the distant sounds of leaf ruffling in the wind, which is a bit weird because Turane is the only source of leaves around. But still, you hear the sound coming from nowhere. And then suddenly it seems to just pull around all of you and twisting around Turane and a bit around you because you're right next to him. And then it goes up in a bit of a tornado fashion. And
Don't you fire!
and then suddenly the entire monastery starts being pulled apart now.
Wrong spell.
Hurricane.
And Raimi starts flapping his arms a little bit as he finally starts to feel it.
I'm gonna fly,
I can
I'm gonna
fly.
Why am I not moving up? No!
Just have him throw you at one.
And you see this column of air going up in the sky and swirling everything, and you start seeing this layer of cloud dissipating as he's doing this, concentrating very heavily on what's happening upward. And suddenly he just pulls out, and you feel the rush of wind going to the ground and moving away. And just as you look up, you see... Oh, I'm gonna have you make another perception roll because a lot of things happen with this.
Can I make one?
I guess anyone who's looking up.
Anyone who is
probably
looking
can.
up, yeah.
I'm looking up.
Yeah, I'd look up. I'd look up since the wind is going up.
Oh, well, 21's still good. I almost got a nat 20.
Haha, a 7. Why am I
got
rolling
it.
7s?
I got an 18 because my cat is a god. Perception.
Everything goes through his cat. Audience is so proud of his cat for his perception. It's-
You know, the sad part is that really, I can't help but feel like audience's perception would increase significantly if he would just bite the bullet and finally buy a pair of damned glasses.
No, they don't look good. That's stylistic.
That's why I took off my armor.
You know, that's why contact exists. Just find an artificer, or even better.
You just see audience back
Artificer
in the
making
garden
contact.
talking with this high level like artificer. So I need some.
Contacts.
I need some glasses, but I don't want them to be glasses with rims. I just want them to be in my eye.
Oh,
Just perception, like a +3 perception item.
that would not end well. All
Brings
right.
out a drill.
So as you're all looking up, and so 21 audience, you got
18.
18. Tobiyashi, you got
A 7.
7. Well,
I
there's
keep rolling 7s.
Remy. Did you roll? You don't have to.
I rolled a natural 1 for a 10. Raimi was far too disappointed by the fact that the wind did not allow him to fly.
So
And now he's looking at the ground in disappointment.
So Remy is disappointed. Tobiyashi got wind in his eyes, and there's dust and
Some dust and stuff. you know?
and he's crying a little bit, trying to hide it. You know, just as soon as he opened one
My
eye.
passive perception's a 17.
I take that into consideration, but it's sort of the you can sort of make out something, and you get one of the caretaker looking at you, and you just look at him. So, I got something in my eyes. That's why I can't see well. But Jorgen audience, you look up and you have just enough time to see 3 giant owl mounted with someone on it, just scattering and flying away.
Do the wolves disappear as they fly away?
No.
Pussy.
You even start
How-
hearing from the complete back of the monastery.
All right, I will turn to the Tyrande and the others, and I'll be like, it appears that there are 3 druids, and they appear to have retreated for the moment as we gain visibility of them. So I think this would be our opportunity to deal with their ground force, meaning the wolves, and then perhaps force them then to engage us themselves.
Very well.
They wish to take us down.
You see Turane grab the stone slab that was covering the well, since he's mostly completely filled it up with stone, and he takes prepares for a large swing, and he throws it like a frisbee. It just goes through the air, and even Remy, as you're disappointed, you can't help but to hear it just go right above your head. This saucer the size of nearly it was a pretty large well. I'd say nearly 10 feet radius stone
Measure it in
slab.
audiences.
It's the size of a small car, just going right above your head. And you, Tobiyashi, as you're looking up, trying to make out, I can see it. And then you see this slab of stone just go. It just went right above where the roof was, but it was so fast and powerful that you felt the wind being sucked as this stone slab was moving. And you see it just crash inside all of the wolves. You see a huge puff of smoke appearing, and then suddenly it dissipates, and there's much less wolves. You see Turane start picking pieces of the well, stone pieces of the well, and start throwing them in all of the different direction. You see as they impact in the wolves, they just make them burst in shadows. And even though this onslaught is going on, since the wolves are focusing towards some of the walls, at one point, Tobiyashi, you do see the ward on your wall just fail. It's and the ward breaks.
All right. I'll call out for a priest that a ward is broken over here, and I'll also call out to Jorg that we could maybe use a moonbeam on this spot.
Yeah, I'm gonna run over there.
You run over.
Use the moonbeam to stall while the priest can fix the ward.
You run to that point and you start concentrating to cast. Just as you see the wall suddenly break, as the few priests arriving right in front of it were starting to re-energize it, the wall starts to break, and this one priest stays in position and re-energize the ward, but you hear other wards everywhere on the wall starting to fail. There's more ward failing than there are priests available. There's only 8 priests, and you're hearing breaches. You hear this sound of ward just going a different location, and you hear the walls breaking and breaching. You hear people starting to scream, and the priest starting more and more panicked.
Yeah, I'll tell them all to rally to our position, rally to Tyrande. We'll try and deal with them before the. We'll try and deal with them at once before the druids can return. I'll tell everyone to rally to our position. Everyone come to our position, leave the walls.
Immediately you see a lot of the priests being very nervous, but all converging back toward where you'd say to go. And Turane is still picking pieces of the well and throwing them at the wolves entering the walls. But as you see all of the wolves pushing inward, and Remy, where do you go as you're there? Wards are failing one after the other, and there's not enough priests to keep them all up.
You know what? Remy is going to attempt to go back up one of the walls because he's not interested in being in one single location, like we were literally trying to avoid not that long ago.
Yeah, the druids retreated though. We have to deal with the wolves now. If we split, the wolves are just going to pick us off. We have to gather around our strongest member.
Well, no, just gathering in a single pinpoint location,
Yeah.
like small enough for certain spells. Anyway,
Yeah.
Okay, well, if you're going up a wall, I'd say make an acrobatics roll.
What I'm going to do
Yes.
is go over to Toron. Hey. No, I'm gonna go up to him and I look up at him like, "Can I climb you?"
There is a moment of analyzing what you just said, and you get Turane that looks at you. I guess you like nuts, so you probably are very close to squirrels. If it makes you feel better.
I thought he was gonna say you probably are a nut.
Okay. Yeah, I'll climb up him and I'm gonna look. Once I climb up him, I'm gonna look towards where the hole was, where everyone is gathered, and I am going to ready an attack action with a dart.
Okay. Jorg?
Jorg. So there's a bunch of wards falling.
Yes.
Uh,
There's only
So I
8
assume
priests, and there's easily 20 of these wards that are failing all at the same time.
mm, so yeah, I guess I'm just gonna cast Moonbeam. I can't imagine there's a good spot for one good spot for thorny feet, whatever spike growth.
Thorny feet.
Have you?
Thorny feet.
I mean, like that. I mean, that kind of depends. Exactly how many people are gathered in
Plan B.
like in one location. Like how much space are you all occupying?
Probably. I mean, I assume we're not grouping up too hard, but also.
So there's 8 priests trying to make their way to the center of the courtyard where audience try to rally everyone. There's Touron, who is right beside the well, picking pieces and throwing them at the coming wolves. There's Tobiyashi, who climbed Touron and is waiting to throw a dart at the first monster that arrives. And there's Jorg going in his mind through his spells, trying to figure out which spell he can use. And then having a moment of, alright, well, Moonbeam.
Yeah.
So I have a question outside of the thing. How many pieces of silk do you think I would need to make a parachute?
It's a good thing that this stream today is ending in a few minutes, because I have to think about that one.
Okay. I'm just wondering.
Uh,
Like a glider.
So yeah, so for whom was I answering that question? Yeah, Remy, for who's where. Okay, so Remy.
I was just throwing out there because, like, depending on where you are and how many of you there are, you could just as easily position a spike growth so that if they wanted to get anywhere close to the main targets, i.e. priests, you can make them have to travel through as much spike growth as possible.
Yeah.
So as
You might want to do Plan B.
As you all gather at the
Upstairs.
center and ready yourself for a brutal combat, you all look outward and you see the wolves coming in, breaking the walls, and not running inside. They're just going back on themselves and breaking the walls from inside, where the wards aren't acting. They're completely focusing on the walls.
Alright, I'll basically tell Taronde just to keep destroying as many as he can.
I'm throwing as many darts as I can.
And
You can.
same with Jorg. Like, anyone who
Yeah,
has
Jorg's
range,
just gonna
keep,
put up his moonbeam.
moonbeam on them for, destroy as many as we can while they're working on the walls.
Okay. You get out Moonbeam and you start sweeping off the sides of the wall as best as you can, moving the Moonbeam to sort of get as many as you want. The more they're destroying the walls, the more you can actually see outside. The moat is still in effect, and a lot of those entering the moat don't come out. So there is... It's still acting. But it's probably not doing as much as you want. Most of them, because they've had to get through this, don't resist the beam as it's sweeping. And as after watching this for a good 10 minutes, all of you wondering exactly what's gonna be the end plan of this, and you, Jorg, feeling like, oh, it's not so bad. You're just sweeping them off, and they're just popping as the moonbeam just slowly move toward you. And yeah, that's
How
cool.
many do you think we've killed of the, what were they, 3? So like 150 probably wolves there were.
If not counting the spike growth, just counting the moonbeam, I'd say in 10 minutes, you probably eventually figure out that, yeah, there's at least 100 of them which has been swept by this. The moonbeam isn't like windshield wiper going at their maximum speed. It's something that moves slowly, so it has time to do damage.
Yeah, well, I was including that with also Tyrande's rocks and the thorn growth. So,
if you want to count everything, the spike growth, the showers of small rock that Tyrande is throwing, you'd easily say that it goes within the several hundred of them, maybe 500 or 600 of them. But it also makes sense.
Does it look like we've cleared the majority?
Yeah. At one point, you start seeing holes in the onslaught, and they just die down. And you also think about it rapidly in your mind, saying, okay, well, yeah, they normally throw themselves at the ward every few minutes throughout the night. Yeah, it's probably something in those numbers that usually come up. And since the walls weren't mended, that's why that they were able to do so much damage. But also, there's priests have lost a third of their manpower, and they usually were at the few last spell slots they had when the night ended. And then the silence come back. There is a little moment where some of the wolves seems to just gather around the side of the large courtyard, and they just wait there for a moment as if waiting for an order. Some of them just get popped by the moonbeam that just going slowly above them, but then they start going away.
All right. I guess I will tell everyone, since we've dealt with the wolves, to go actually head back inside, since or at least under cover, since I expect that their next attack may come from above again with the druids. So I'll tell everyone to quickly head inside as quickly as possible.
All right. So everyone does exactly as you say, and silence come back in the night. You actually start seeing a little bit of the light of the moon shining through the cloud cover. Not a lot, but just enough to see that, yeah, the moons are still there. Okay. And then 1 hour goes by. Second hour goes by. After the third hour, you sort of get the feeling that, okay, maybe that's it. Get a lot of priests being very nervous, but also not sure of what to expect, because they're usually completely tapped out as the night ends. But a lot of them still have spells. But you see also a lot of them walking the ruined walls and being very nervous. One of them at one point goes back to you, audience, and just says, what are we going to do? There's too many breaches in the walls. It takes...
I was just gonna be like, keep on alert. We'll see if they attack again. This may not yet be over. Just stay on alert.
It takes days to replace a ward.
I know.
We won't be able to reinforce this during the day.
This is the last night we'll need them. For better or worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, you cannot wait that long.
No, we can't. Wait, our audience is actually going to I'm gonna have my cat start trying to see if it can. Well, they flew, so there's gonna be no way to track them. But has the sky cleared, or is the fog still there?
No, there's no fog anymore. Like I said, you can see the light of the moon shining through a very thin cloud cover, and this cloud cover does seem to be at a normal height.
All right. Then if it's 3 hours have passed and it's clear again, I'm gonna have my cat go and basically like do a full, like, you know, basically send him out to do basically a full mile scan and see if he can see if the druids are planning anything else or if they're basically have gone for the night, in which case we need to, you know, we fended them off for this night. But
Okay. So your cat goes
and
out.
I can roll you the roll you the perception for that while
Go
he's
ahead.
out. So that's 2 of those. That's going to be a 15.
Okay. It takes a little while, but after maybe half an hour, your cat sends you the feeling and the message of, I can't find anyone. They seem to have left. However, the caretaker seems to have found something. They're dragging it toward the monastery right now.
All right, I guess we'll go to check out what that is. I'll basically tell the priest that I don't think there's going to be another attack tonight, from what I can tell.
Oh, but that one that Turin Hay knocked out of the sky.
He said he knocked out of the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm basically going to be like, let's go. I don't think there's going to be... I'm going to tell the priest they can start resting, dealing with injuries, basically that kind of stuff. Like, they're not going to probably return tonight. We've dealt with their forces for tonight.
Okay. So you all go toward where your cat is telling you that there are some caretakers bringing back something. A little package. And you arrive just as your cat arrives, and maybe a few minutes later, and as with Jorg and Remy and Tobiashi following, probably. I don't want to impose an action, but I'm
Yeah.
guessing
No,
you
we're
want to
following.
know what's...
Or I am.
I slide down the tree and I follow.
As you arrive toward the back of the monastery, and you also get to see the damage done on the back of the monastery. All of the walls around the garden of the monastery have been completely destroyed. They just kept on going there. It's basically a large 70 feet wide breach. But the caretakers are bringing in someone. It looks like a person completely wrapped in vine, and you see one of the caretakers looking at the person, and you see the person twitch, and you see a purple mushroom appearing in his hand, and he just slams it in the face of the guy. You see this burst of spores, and then the guy just goes slack again. But you hear him go slack while doing...
Alright, good to know that we're drugging our prisoners now.
Yes, drug him.
You had, two of them are framing this. Each one of them has this purple mushroom in their hand, and they're just waiting for him to move. As soon as he seems to twitch, one of them slams a mushroom in his face again, and the guy looks completely stoned. Not overdose stoned, but you can't see any colors of the eyes. This is how dilated their pupil actually is. You see one of the caretakers looking at you, because the caretakers, unlike Turane, are shorter than you, audience. He's not going to be able to talk in the next hour. And you see him start twitching again, and slam! Hit it with a mushroom. Hour and a half.
We're not going to be able to talk. Okay. I'll be like,
It gives us time
Well,
to...
keep an eye.
So we can talk to him now?
No, he's not going to be able to. They said.
Not for
Or
another
it- or
hours
it's-
and a half. Well,
Oh, not
Enough for
for
another-
another hour. Oh, I thought you said like in another hour he won't be able to talk.
No,
No.
not for an hour and a half. Well,
Okay.
might as well get a quick nap. I feel like it's going to be a long day. I feel like we're going to be leaving probably the monastery by tomorrow, whatever information we get. So get a quick nap while we can.
As
Yeah.
we're walking away or taking him back, I'm gonna ask Georg. So I see that you could turn into animals. What kind of animals can you turn into?
Oh, quite a few. Is there one you have in mind?
Anything that could barrow.
Oh, like dig a hole, huh?
Yeah.
Turns into a puppy.
Ooh.
Clifford the big red dog.
Well, I suppose I could. Let me think. I've seen moles. Can I turn into a giant mole?
I'd have to improvise the challenge
I don't
rating
think
of
this
that
stands.
creature, but there's a good chance.
Because if we could do that, I think I have an idea to maybe keep the priest safe.
I don't know,
Are we gonna bury him?
We could bury them.
I feel like this sounds a bit like the ending song of another YouTuber is streaming as I'm beginning. There's the dig a tunnel. Dig a tunnel.
Dig a tunnel. Yeah, we could dig a tunnel to where they could get to safety. I don't know how long it would take us to get somewhere, but you know.
I think that that's a thing to talk about after our nap.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah,
I
I
need
was just making
I need
sure
to
you
make
can
one
turn into
joke
something.
first. Dig a tunnel, dig a tunnel, dig a tunnel, dig. What was that?
What
Yeah,
was that?
Quick
that's
before the hyena come.
Giant
you
badger.
know the YouTuber I'm
Badger.
referring to? She streams at the same time as mine. I was looking at the channel streaming at the same time as mine, and I saw that there was this channel, and I got for the half a minute that I was on her channel, I got gifted a sub. So
Nice.
I watched her
Nice.
channel for 1 month.
How you made that jingle? I was saying fairies or strawberry shortcake.
I don't know.
All right.
All right, so
Short rest. Wait, who's taking watch?
well, since you still have half a night, because there was roughly an hour and a half of siege, then 3 hours of waiting, so you still have half a night. So you're gonna be up before noon if you take a long rest.
I don't
Okay.
think we want to do that unless people really want
Oh,
the spell
wait.
slots back. Because I
Actually,
think we
no,
may
should
need that
only-
time.
We should only take a
Ooh,
short
yes.
rest and start looking for the place.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I think we might need the time. Also, we should start questioning him as soon as possible.
Do you
They
think
said
we can get Toron Hay out there too to look for it? Like instead of us
Tarone
going
said
in?
he couldn't go into the mountains. He's too big.
What about his minions?
I don't know how far.
Minions
his
sound so
minions would go.
evil.
They're
I don't know how far his minions
caretakers.
would go.
Caretakers. I
Alright,
mean,
let's get the information first, and then we'll see.
Devise a plan.
all right.
Devise a plan.
All right.
I'll meditate and rest and abuse my weapon a little bit more. No,
All right, so you all decide to take a little nap. Not a complete night of rest, just a little nap to get a few hit points back and any abilities that recharge after a short rest.
Nothing that I own.
I didn't even use anything.
I didn't use anything really either, except a little bit of lay on hands.
Yeah, but Leia, doesn't Channel Divinity come back after a short rest?
It does, but that doesn't. I mean, unless someone
Yeah, you
wants
can
to be
use it.
healed,
Yeah, but you.
and then I could use it.
Yeah.
Toron
That's
Hay,
all.
heal him.
Yeah.
Heal him. He took damage.
Yeah.
Technically, I could turn it into a level 2 spell slot and then rest. So I could use like Cure Wounds at level 2.
Yeah, heal
Someone
our
needs
tree boy.
healing. Who needs healing? Just our tree?
Just
Do
our
you
tree.
not, Tob? Just our tree?
No, I am healed up all the way.
Alright,
Yeah.
screw it. I'll heal our tree for
Show him the respect he deserves.
Yeah.
8 points of healing.
Let's go.
You see a charred portion of the bark just have life coming back to it, and you see a small leaf just.
There you go.
He just has to rest.
There we go.
That's
All
very
right.
generous of you.
Anything for a buddy. Anything for a friend.
Like wine tour on it. Actually,
Why
I
did
think he
die?
deserved this. I think he deserved just pour it into his leaves.
I don't think I
Watering the
want a
plants.
drunk, super powerful tree.
He's got drunken fists now. No, it's an advantage. No.
He's trying to hit the enemy, throwing stones while drunk. Yeah, that's gonna end well.
Yeah, we rest. We rest.
Yeah, and then we'll rest.
All right, so you all go for a little nap. If you have abilities that need regenerating, or that you can transfer spells, technically, I wouldn't be against you taking two
Question.
short rests. Yes.
Could I make something with my use my key points to extend my silk and then make something while I'm like resting?
Depends what. Sure.
I'd be figuring out how to make that glider thing or parachute.
I'll make a little bit of research to see just
Yeah,
how
yeah,
much
that's what I
material
was
you
saying.
need. But yeah, sure, I can look that up.
All right, I'll be using my key points and then like trying to figure out while we're resting, and then get it back while we do the short rest or whatever.
But just so that you're not too disappointed, parachutes
Yeah.
require a lot of material.
A lot, yeah, I know.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay, so everyone goes to rest, and this is where we're going to end today's stream, as you all take either a power nap or contemplative moment, meditating on what's going to happen next. And so this is where we end tonight's session. So, as always, if you enjoyed the show, show it. There were a lot of people in the chat, and unfortunately my iPad died during the stream, so I haven't got to see if anyone added any messages in the last 45 minutes of the stream. But if you did, I will do my best to read them. I think I can still have access to them as long as the rebroadcast is not done. So I will read them all, because that was fun getting people. If you're still here watching, do it again next week. I liked it.
We'll be here.
Nice. All right. So, thank you for watching. I hope you had a pleasant evening. I know it wasn't the riveting moment that feels like a blockbuster car chase and explosion moment, but things happened and plan unfolded, and the party managed to survive the night, which was something that they were slightly concerned about. So, all in all, not a bad game, and everyone's still alive, so more can happen. And on the subject of more happening, well, I hope we see you again next Wednesday. And as always, if you enjoyed the show, you can support the stream by following us on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. You can also support the stream by making a donation, becoming a Patreon, subscribing to the Twitch channel, or you can simply help us by spreading the word, telling others of us, because if you can't follow, maybe they can follow. If you can't subscribe, maybe they can subscribe. That would be nice. I'd love to make a living out of this. It would give
And
me...
views always help.
Yeah.
It'll get us recommended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I'd love to make a living out of this. If you're not too bored listening to me talk for half of the session, I'd love making a living out of this. And who knows, I might diversify. If there's enough people coming, I might think about I know, answering question. If you have questions about Dungeons and Dragons, why not? I'd find a day for that. Talking about Dungeons and Dragons for 3 hours straight, any day. Well, not you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I've been playing for 25 years Dungeons and Dragons, almost 24. But
That's a long time.
I'd answer question. So yeah, if there's more of you, diversifying will be easy. And eventually, living off of this would be nice. Something I see myself doing until I'm 70, although it would be weird with a group of people that are just 20 years old. 70-year-old guys keep saying Tori, but who knows? So,
I mean,
yeah, if it works, why not?
Kind of cool.
Yeah.
all right.
And who knows, maybe part of this group is still going to be there in 30 years, doing quests and enduring my endless conversation like this at the end and the beginning of the stream. So, in the hope of seeing you all next Wednesday, having a long future with all of you. And if you missed it, don't worry, there's a rebroadcast on Friday. We try to do this the official rebroadcast. You know, if I get to campaign, Friday will be the rebroadcast day. So if you missed it, there's a rebroadcast on Friday. And since it's a rebroadcast, me and maybe some of the member of the group will stop by and say hi. And can try and strike up a conversation with us. But that's it for tonight.
For sure.
That's it for tonight, and we'll see you again either next Wednesday, next Friday, or if you leave us a message on Twitter, who knows. Have a good night, stay safe, and especially in everything that's been going on outside, stay healthy. Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Right.